X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who spit facts online all the time. Can you see it? All the ones who drag my name every single day. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? They keep saying you don't have what it takes to carve out your own name underneath the shadows of gods. And I keep waiting for the day disbelievers say I flew way too close to the sun. I wait, but it never really comes. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. Why do they just stand there against when they fall from the battles I have overcome? You feel it, feel the cope and the seething tone that they make while I stand up, man among gods. And I keep thinking with my mill, shooting ropes in my cold that faces towards the sun. They hate, but I'm sitting comfy with their mom. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. It's you and me, your mom, it's me. I'll take another hit from my name. You see now, watch me live now, punch your things now. Show you how.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. It is so good to see all of you guys again. I'm a little congested right now because I haven't done much talking today, so bear with me while my voice warms up. Hey everybody. Hey there, New Year 2022, Confusia, Luke Holt, Bolshevik Y2K, Minimum Volts, Lilithian, Larry Banks 78, welcome back. Daughter of Water versus Zoomy Dog, Silver Sneasels. Silver Sneasels, maybe, is what that's supposed to be. Little Morphine Annie, hello. Jared the Rabbit, good to see you. Indigo Whiskey, what's up? Canova Kingamon. Commodore Chomp, Pink Harpy, good to see you. Heavy Gretel, welcome back. Lord Dracula, it's good to see you too. Lord Rose 97, what's up? TFRSB, hello. Peepee Girl 420, nice name. Thank you, welcome. Roundabout, hello. Orofear, welcome. Shoten LLC, good to see you. Shady07, hello. Water, Coin Dog. Luke Took. So many people here today. Welcome, everybody. Asmongold. Asmongold literally made his right-wing views so visible. Like, recently or prior, because it was very obvious that he was like basically there's been like a like imagine a bimodal distribution type of sort of like image, and on one side you've got like 2016, and then the other side you've got 2023, and in the middle you've got like 2019. Asmongold is most conservative in 2016 and 2023. He had like a blip of like 2019 where he was actually pretty left-leaning in a lot of his positions that he was talking about publicly. On the Israel issue, telling people don't vote. Oh yeah, Asmongold actively encourages his audience not to vote. Asmongold is the perfect example of a human being with South Park politics. Like, just straight up, no memes, South Park politics. It's bad if you care about anything. The more you care about something, the more wrong you are. 'Cause you care. Is his audience 13 years old? Some of them. He really got big with his current audience that he's, like, actively got the most, the audience he has right now that's the most active came to him from the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial coverage and the anti-woke videos that he's done reactions to since. Yeah, I need to... Okay, so for those that don't know, South Park has made a new special that is very popular with the right. The right really loves it. They've been hyping this up and talking about how epically it's owning the left for ever since it got announced. It's called South Park Into the Panderverse. And the idea behind it is that it's like Cartman's nightmare of a woke future where they're all women of color. Like, it's the main characters are all women of color. And knowing the South Park creators, it's probably a mix of like shitting on woke media and shitting on the people who freak out about it and see it as like the worst thing ever, particularly because it's Cartman's nightmare. And like even the creators of the show, like it seems like sometimes the creators of the show are the only ones that realize Cartman is bad. Like, for as much of a problem as I do have with South Park and its creators and the political messaging, there's never been ambiguity around whether or not, like, Cartman is bad from, like, the show's storytelling point. Like, in the end, when the episode has a good ending where, like, justice is done, something bad happens to Cartman. Hell, the most recent thing they did is they showed his future as like a bum on the street. So, like, it feels like a lot of it is more so conservatives reading support out of South Park that isn't there. And while there is some, I think it's a bit over-exaggerated, mostly on the part of the right. Yeah, South Park's biggest L probably has to be, like, in 2004, I think it was, when they denied climate change. It was in the early 2000s. They did a whole climate change denial episode that they've since apologized for, sort of. Yeah, Man, Bear, Pig. Yeah. So no doubt that Into the Panderverse thing is going to be very popular with the right, and they're going to talk about it a lot, and they're going to talk about how, like, the left is so triggered, whoa, soy jack, and it'll probably be worth covering. Back in the day, conservatives loved Tina Fey as Sarah Palin, even though she was dunking on her. Yeah, I mean, ironically enough, they do the same thing with Homelander from The Boys. Like, I thought that, like, with the release of Season 3, the right-wing wave of, like, unironic Homelander supporters who don't seem to even realize he's the villain of the show, like, the antagonist and not the main character, I thought those people were gonna, like, disappear, but still, to this day, I go on, like, YouTube Shorts or whatever, and there are videos from people who very clearly either haven't seen The Boys or have catastrophically bad media, like, comprehension. Making videos about, like, the evolution. It'll be like one of those Sigma edits of Homelander murdering someone as if he's, like, the good guy. Like, a lot of them will be, like, dishonestly edited, like, TikTok shorts made to make Homelander look like he's the good guy out of context. Like, it's really bizarre. No, they have not realized The Boys is mocking them. That's my point, Chris Cortez. Like, The Boys for 3 seasons now has been mocking conservatives, and they're still excited for season 4 and don't realize it's making fun of them. My YouTube Shorts feed is full of anti-woke dipshits. Yeah, same. Oh, you know what? There's this one anti-woke dipshit. If you can find him for me, we will do a segment on him today. He's got long hair and a neck beard, and he makes skit videos where he plays all the characters, and he, like, makes, like, anti-feminist, anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ, like, skit videos, and they're meant to look like just random guy making a funny, like, TikTok or whatever, but it's very clearly a quite right-leaning person actively trying to push a narrative. The vegan weirdo? No? I'm talking like imagine the most scraggly, poorly kempt facial hair you can imagine, and the most scraggly, poorly kempt long hair you can imagine on a skinny white guy. That's what he looks like. Not Awaken with JP. Although that guy is also insufferable. He has dark brown hair. He basically just does YouTube shorts. Him? Yes, this retard! Okay, you got it. You found him. Al Jokes. Oh my god, he has 1.8 million subs. Feminists when they get drafted for World War III with 5.3 million views. Yeah, do we cover this guy? This would be a good starting segment. This would be a good starting segment. Let's find a good few of his videos that are good for covering back to back to back, because he just does shorts. He pretty much just does shorts. All right. Get naked already? This isn't what I came for. I love how, like, every stream I get the horny comments. That's great. Larry Banks 78, thank you for the $5 donation. I really appreciate it. Very kind of you. Thank you. Said, also, by the end of the special, you have Cartman say that wailing on woke stuff is overall bad, and compared to how they treated Lucas, KK got off easy. KK? I don't know who that's referring to. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know what it's referring to, but okay. Interesting. Thank you, Larry Banks. I'll watch it, I guess. Heavy Gretel, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the $5 too. Says this auto renew button better work this time. It sometimes just, it sometimes doesn't work. Only Zans when? At 1 million subs. At 1 million subs, I will make an OnlyFans, okay? You have my word. I just have to hope that OnlyFans isn't a thing by the time I hit 1 million subs. Fuck. Nah, I think I'd be down for it. I think I could... I think I'd be okay uploading cock pics online for money. Not for free, but for money? Perhaps. Nethercat, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Very kind of you. Very based. Very pog. Thank you so much. Hey, Hashed. Clip saved and archived? Hell yeah. Cue the nice cock comments and Wii Sports announcer voice. Yeah. Yeah, I start doing sex work, not even for, like, the sake of survival, but just because it'd be funny. That's basically what Markiplier did, though, to be fair. Like, he... Didn't he just make an OnlyFans because it'd be funny? Like, he didn't need the money. Dizzle McFizzle, thank you for the 7-month-long Tier 1 membership over on YouTube. Hot damn, he donated all the profits. He did it for charity. Holy shit, maybe that's how I could do it. Chill out, TFRSB. You gotta stop being a bottom in my chat. But thank you for the Tier 1 sub, the membership renewal. I appreciate it. Thank you. Says keep on keeping on, my dude. 100. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, everybody. Okay, let me update the dono goal. And then let's start with our first segment. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1. Like the stream. Action. Okay, everybody, so something you guys might not know about me is that when I'm not streaming, something I find myself doing, you know, fairly often is doom scrolling through YouTube Shorts. I'm not proud of it. It's a massive waste of time, and it is basically it's a mix between psychological torture and hypnotization. But you just kind of get locked into scrolling and scrolling and scrolling through these YouTube Shorts, and like 1 out of 10 of them will be interesting enough to keep you watching. And then you go to like 9 more drivel YouTube Shorts you watch like half a second of, and then scroll on to the next one. So I'm quite the doom scroller when it comes to YouTube Shorts, and because of that, I'm tangentially aware, not even by name, just by face and voice and, like, content style, of pretty much all the big YouTube Shorts creators. I've seen them at this point, because I scroll through it that much. And time again, between actually good YouTube Shorts I would, you know, discover, there was this skit channel from a guy that kept on coming up in my feed. The guy's YouTube channel is called Al Jokes. There we go. This is his channel here. This is him. You might recognize him. You might have seen him before. This dude. Very, very recognizable. I would think if you've seen him on your YouTube Shorts feed. Now, to be fair, a decent amount of his content isn't really objectionable, right? Like, if I had randomly had one of his videos that was like, the friend who just found out about gingers come up in my recommended instead of what did, I probably wouldn't be making this video today. Al Jokes. Like, the word jokes. Al Jokes is the name of the channel. Now, under normal circumstances, and if that was, you know, what came up, like his average, most of what he makes is what came up, I probably wouldn't be making this video. The thing is, every time his videos would come up in my feed, within like 10 seconds of trying to watch it, it would immediately devolve into the most cringe, like 14-year-old middle schooler attempts at edgy humor I've ever seen. And a lot of it is from at least from what I was able to see of it, a fairly mean place. It's kind of hard to put into words. I usually just scroll right past them, so I've never actually watched one of this guy's skits in their entirety. So I figure let's go ahead and take a look, because this guy has 1.2 million subscribers on YouTube, I believe, and I have yet to see a single one of his YouTube shorts here crack under 500k. They tend to break a million pretty much every single one. So the first one I brought up here is called Are Trans Spelled with an @ sign instead of an A, Women Still Men? Hashtag shorts, hashtag comedy, hashtag funny. So I'm pretty certain I had this exact one come up in my feed. Look at that, he's got the gold plate. YouTube endorsed.
There you are. Sorry, doctor, I tried to stop. It's okay, James.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. The volume's super low, and because YouTube is a multi-billion-dollar platform and very well made, there's no audio slider on YouTube Shorts, so I have to, like, find a video, up the audio, and then refresh the page, and let's see if that works.
Is he in there? Excuse me.
Okay, this should have done it.
Ma'am, you can't go in there. There you are. Sorry, doctor, I tried to stop. It's okay, James. I'll handle this. Thank you. Jessica, why don't you tell me what's wrong? You told me that after the operation, I would no longer be a man. That's correct. You are no longer a man. I am still a man because I can't experience a female orgasm. Well, no, that's not true. Even trans women are able to experience female orgasms. You see, if you stimulate your clitoris, You don't understand. I still have no fucking clue where any of that is. What? Is it this? Is it that? Do I have to lift this up? I don't fucking know.
This one's actually not bad. Like, if the joke is literally just that trans woman gets bottom surgery but can't find the clitoris, I guess, like, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world, but I guess the implication is, like, a joke about how men can't find the clitoris and thus trans women are still men, because that's the joke scenario. Yeah, like, still can't find the clit, so you're not a woman, I guess.
Oh, you are still a man.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, that is the video. That's the meme. That was the joke. The joke is that a trans woman with bottom surgery wouldn't be able to find her own clit, and thus would still be a man. Okay. Isn't the idea that men can't find the clitoris, like, from this guy's perspective, some feminist man-hating concept? Why would he push that? Speaking of feminist concepts and his opinion on them, this video is called Looking for a Reason Not to Hire a Feminist. This one did very well, as you can see.
Graduated magna cum laude with a degree in political science and neuroscience.
And GPA?
3.9.
So not perfect?
Yes, regrettably I had a few concurrent commitments. My volunteer organization, and then there are my full-time jobs to support my war hero father who couldn't support himself. Now on to some common interview questions. Please don't tell me something about yourself. Thank you. Volunteer experience. I see you worked at the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. The NAACP, yes, a wonderful experience. Excellent. Tell me about that. Specifically, what was your least favorite part about being around that many black people? I'm sorry? What did you like least about being around black people all the time?
Nothing. No, I'm not going to answer that.
Unwillingness to answer hypotheticals. Alright, look, lady, I'm just gonna level with you. We have a really good team environment here, and I don't think throwing a feminist into the...
Wait, hold on. Where'd you get that I'm a feminist? I'm not a feminist.
Your job application says you're a 31-year-old unmarried virgin because no men like you. That's a feminist. No, I'm a 31-year-old unmarried virgin who doesn't like men.
Oh.
I'm religious. I'm waiting to have sex till marriage. And as for the I don't like men part, that's because I'm a lesbian.
Nice. Hired.
Graduate.
Really top tier comedy here, I guess. It's so incoherent that it's basically just meant to be so absurd, but at the same time, the message is still meant to be mean-spirited towards, like, these progressive perspectives, that it doesn't really need to make an argument. People think this is funny. You know what's actually kind of funny? Couple years ago, I would say, like, the biggest skit YouTuber on all of YouTube was a YouTuber named Long Beach Griffey. And I liked his content, but I ended up stumbling across a couple of his videos that were quite transphobic. He'd made a couple of skit videos that were pretty transphobic. Now, all that aside, those skit videos were still far funnier than what we're watching here. They were at least coherent and like actually comedically sound. Like there was actually funny shit. Griffey is right wing. Well, that is until after I made a video responding to him, he ended up reaching out to me and came onto my stream, and I had a discussion with him, and now we're pretty cool. Now we're all good. And like we had a conversation about trans rights and stuff, and he said that he felt like I did a good job explaining a lot of that stuff to him. So, and since then I haven't seen him being any transphobic videos since then. I think he actually made a video that was a skit video about trans people that wasn't transphobic. That was like the opposite since then. So yeah, I mean, potentially I played at least a part in changing his mind. But Long Beach Griffey's videos, for as, you know, arguably bigoted as they were, way better than what this guy is dishing out. This is really just bordering on incoherent. This one's called The Gay Checklist, and gay is spelled with a @ sign. So you can really tell this guy doesn't want YouTube auto mods to, you know, notice that he's just making videos shitting on minorities. Oh wait, I gotta refresh it. Hold on.
Hey man, you want a banana? No. Okay. You wanna watch some TV?
No, definitely not.
Okay, what do you wanna do? What's in the book?
Oh, it's just a little checklist.
Can I see it?
Sure.
You have a list of questions to ask yourself to see if what you're about to do is gay? Isn't this unnecessary? Couldn't you just not suck?
Not these days. Sucking isn't even the gayest thing you can do anymore.
What could be gayer than sucking?
Willingly going to a Taylor Swift concert?
Bro, some of these questions, I mean, how do you do any?
This is because the right's really mad at Taylor Swift right now because she told her fans to vote. Like, that's literally it. She didn't even tell them to vote Democrat or vote Biden. She simply encouraged her fan base to register to vote because a lot of her fans are younger, don't know a ton about politics, so she like actively like went out of her way to educate her quite young fan base on how to register to vote and encourage them to use that right as often as they can. So they really hate Taylor Swift.
Anything. This would make everything gay.
Hard being straight.
I mean, does it require eye contact with a man? Making eye contact with a man is gay? I don't know, man. I think this is all overkill anyways. I mean, there's only one question you need to ask if you want to find out if what you're about to do is gay.
Yeah, and what's that?
Does it feel right?
Okay, that one's not too bad.
Hey, man, you want...
Okay, if the ending is that he does self-cest, that one's not too bad. That's the least offensive one. The one that ends with him doing self-cest. Feminists when they get drafted for World War III. God, one of the things that's like really frustrates me about Zoomer comedy and Zoomer discussion around war and politics is a lot of them seem to think that a draft is still possible. Like, my favorite thing that just immediately sort of reveals how out of touch someone is with politics is when they say, what about another draft? What if World War III happens and there's another draft? And they talk about that seriously. And it's just immediately like, okay, so you literally have the political like understanding of a middle schooler. Like, I have no reason to talk to you. But this video is called Feminists when they get drafted for World War III.
I just don't understand. I thought only...
Oh, wait, I gotta refresh. Oh, wait, no, I don't have to refresh it because it's a YouTube video instead of a short.
Men got drafted. That used to be the case. Now it's men and women who claim they don't need no man. I don't think I've ever used the words I don't need no man. Here's 11 screenshots of tweets in which you've used the phrase I don't need no man. Okay, but I didn't mean any of that. I was just making jokes. I'm a comedian. I'm a female comedian? That's an oxymoron, isn't it? Because comedian implies funny and women aren't funny.
Does that bother you? Nope. Because it would for sure bother a feminist. And of course, if I find out that you're a feminist, well, then I'm gonna have to draft you. So, what's it gonna be? It doesn't bother me. Prove it. What? I want to hear you say women aren't funny. I'm not gonna. Of course, if you don't say it, then I'm gonna have to assume you're a feminist, and, well, then you're gonna get drafted. Women aren't funny. Oh, well, my apologies, ma'am. You clearly aren't a feminist. Also, is your husband around? Hey, what's going on here? Robert, congratulations. You've been drafted to fight in World War III. I just have to ask you this one question. Are you gay? Because we don't allow gay people in the military, and, well, if you are, then you'd be exempt. Yes. Prove it.
Okay. He seems to... Okay, is it interesting how many of this guy's right-wing comedy videos end with a joke about characters he plays being gay and then proceeding to fuck? Wait, like, yeah, the ending joke is good because you guys think gay is funny, and I've been brainwashed by you guys into thinking gay is funny. Like, just the idea of it being funny is like, hilarious to Zoomers, but not even in, like, a derogatory way. But, like, the way he's doing the video and the joke is meant to be derogatory. But do you find it interesting that so many of these are ending with, like, a smash cut ending after a heavy illusion that he's about to fuck himself? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. This video is called "You're Not Marginalized, You Just Need to Shut the Fuck Up."
All I want to do is be trans, to be myself, and to be treated like everyone else.
No, you don't. You clearly want to be treated differently.
No, that's not true. I just don't want to be hated for who I am.
You're not hated for who you are. You're hated because you try to shove your shit down everyone's throat.
Excuse me.
Yes?
I'm trans or gay or cat or whatever.
That's great. Good for you. But if you don't mind, I have my own life, my own problems, so I'm just going to focus on...
Okay, but I'm like really brave, so...
Good for you.
So real.
Goddamn lady, can you please just shut the fuck up? And there it is. There's a transphobia. You see, all I want to do is live my life.
So, like, this guy's actually discovered the most genius form of conservative propaganda ever. It's very successful, and it fails to make anything even close to a coherent argument, but still convinces people to join the right. You can't argue against any of it. It's just, like, insanely cringe if you have any level of information or context to the issues he covers. He's basically the YouTube skit version of South Park. This guy's content is, like, so frustrating to talk about and cover as a progressive for the same reason talking about some of the political implications of South Park are. Because at the end of the day, it seems like the primary objective, the primary political motivator of this is that you're cringe if you care. If you care about anything too much, then you're cringe, and that makes you wrong. And the left kind of by default cares the most about real issues, and so that's usually going to bring people like this to the position that the left is in the wrong because the left, you know, talks and cares about real big problems and not random culture war things that it's easy to just kind of calm down and not, you know, get upset over. Well, the left is talking about systemic reform and massive issues that impact millions of people all around the world. So there's kind of a pretty big and clear reason why the left tends to get more emotional on these things than the right, but simply getting emotional on an issue is enough for people like this to just completely write you off. And I think that's probably what motivates most of this content more than any, like, deep-seated hatred. Like, it doesn't really seem like he hates these groups all that much. It seems like he's just kind of saying the most offensive thing he can for the sake of shock value comedy. And the reason he's doing that is that his political leanings are more on the side of this, like, disaffected, I don't care, South Park-brained, you know, pseudo-conservatism. I don't know. This guy's YouTube shorts annoy the fuck out of me, so if you've been annoyed by him too, then I hope this video brings you some level of catharsis, because I don't think I've seen anybody else covering this guy's dog shit YouTube shorts. which, you know, makes sense considering there's really no arguments to make about it. It can really only be made fun of and looked at with a bewildered face. How do you guys like that? Whoa. Sorry about that. How do you guys like that segment? I feel like it came out pretty good. I'm glad you guys liked it. Nice. Deeply frustrating, but gets the point across. Yeah, watching skit YouTubers like that is always very frustrating as a lefty, because you just know they're not taking any of these issues seriously, but you do, and so that's, like, the main leg up they have on you, right? And their audience don't take these issues seriously either, so, like, you have the hard place of having to convince people to care, and then also convince them to agree with you. Yeah, YouTube Shorts is a hellhole. It needs to be, like, glassed. Angel Brat 87, thank you so much for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. That's a very kind $25 donation there. Hopefully Indigo Whiskey, Mutt Bites, Willers, Renophilia, and Trimmer Shake all appreciate the gifted subs. Thank you, Angel Brat 87. That's very kind. It says $25 to genocide the white names. Hell yeah. 5 more white names down. Yeah, Mesky. Sadly, YouTubers can't pick what, like, companies can and can't advertise on their content. It's up to YouTube. Daily Wire has a lot of money and runs a lot of ads on YouTube. No one on the left can afford the amount of advertiser funds that Daily Wire alone puts into YouTube. It's not even to speak of other conservative institutions. Was it you who tested on an incognito browser how many shorts you had to scroll through to get a far-right one that's like less than 5? I've done it on stream before and it was less than 20. Like, it was a little over 10, less than 20, until I got a, like, right-wing video short. But I'm sure someone has done it and found it in less than 5. Yeah, like, YouTube is very much aiding and abetting very, you know, toxic far-right shit on their platform that they're gonna have to answer for in the coming years. It's gonna be interesting. Hey, Hashed. Sorry for being really, like, bad with answering DMs. I am notoriously bad at answering DMs with everybody, literally ever. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to get better. Hopefully getting on ADHD medication will help. Because what tends to happen is I, like, check my messages. I see I've gotten a DM. I go to, like, think of a response. Get distracted. See, like, another message that's, like, clearly really urgent or something, like, from my editor or whatever. And, get distracted by that. Or, like, I'm in a call. And that's usually when I'm checking Discord, is when I'm in a call, and someone's like, yo, Zan, check out this thing I posted in VC text, and I switch over to that and forget I was, you know, checking a DM, and now the notification is gone. So, yeah. It happens. I'm sorry. No problem, Kitty the Atheist. Zan, did you predict my date on Halloween? That date on Friday is going to be dressed up as a clown girl. Did I predict that your date on Friday would be dressed as a clown girl? I don't remember making any such prediction, but I do recall talking about clown girls. Xander Hall, YouTube promotes cheating and hacking and exploiting games. No one talks about it in more gaming circles. That is true. YouTube really boosts like hacker videos, like videos where it's a guy hacking an online game. For, like, entertainment, and it's like, yeah, but they're still doing something that's, like, arguably against the rules, you know? Did you just test it, Zoomy Dog? Dude, I gotta say, Kitty the Atheist, Anne Rice was sus as fuck, okay? She was, alright? She was pretty sus. Like, there were, with underage shit, underage characters, or characters that are like, yeah. There's some sussy shit in her writing. Who's Anne Rice? She made Interview with the Vampire. That's what she's most known for. And that's the series I'm referring to. It's very famous and well known, but there's some sussy shit in that. That makes it even weirder that Claudia was based on her real-life dead daughter who died of cancer. That makes it even fucking weird. Louis and Lestat were based on her and her husband. That's fine. Although, yeah, okay, sure. But, like, I'm not talking about that. That's not the sus thing. The sus thing is, like, the stuff involving underage people. And people who are in the lore of the story, physically underage, but then go on to mature into adulthood, and then she then continues to write them into relationships with adult characters, and it is not framed in a bad way. At all, really. At least from what I remember, it wasn't framed in a bad way. It's been a long time, but still. It creeped me out when I was a 14-year-old reading those books. Interview with the Vampire and The Professional. I've never heard of The Professional. It's probably the most mainstream media that is able to be explicitly pedophilic. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. I'm glad someone's saying it so it doesn't have to be me, because I don't want to trigger the Anne Rice fans in chat. I don't remember Claudia banging anybody. It wasn't Claudia, no. It's a different character I can't remember the name of. What's his name? Fuck, if only I had my friend Val. My friend who's a trans dude who's obsessed with vampires here to ask. He would be able to tell me right away. Armand, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. T. Leves, you know what I'm talking about. Pretty much the shit with Armand is the creepy shit in particular that comes to mind. Thank you. And there's more. There's more. Like, there's so much more Interview with the Vampire I don't even know about. I was told that at one point Lestat meets Jesus. I don't even know, dude. So yeah, whew. We're not getting down that rabbit hole, okay? Oh, and the incest, too. I forgot. Yeah, the incest. Speaking of incest, what an amazing segue, by the way. There's a drama happening right now online that is just fucking crazy. Oh my god. This really caught my eye. Why is Cherry Gooner posting on Twitter? Cherry, no more gooning. I do not permit you to goon. Okay, guys. I'm getting the next segment ready. It's gonna be good. Really fast. D Snugs, thank you for the tier 1 sub over on Twitch. I appreciate it. Very kind of you. You should come to the website though. That's where I'm reading chat. That you know, if you want your messages to get read, you should come to my website. That's the real deal. And then Pepper T21, thank you for the $5 donation. So kind of you. Thank you so much. Said, You think that's bad? You should see how the IT book really ends and why they had to leave that out of the movie. The It book. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've read a lot of Stephen King, and yeah, it was one of them. And I was underage when I read that, and I was like, I don't feel like I should be reading this, dude. What the fuck? Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely when Stephen King was on the good cocaine. His judgment was not on peak there, because he let whatever dark, sussy bullshit deep inside of him out when he was writing those last few chapters of it. Yeah, Stephen King is fucking weird. Yeah, the intrusive thoughts became extrusive thoughts. Christ. Yeah, Stephen King's a massive weirdo. Anyway. Do not read it if you want to be spared a quite it's horrific, but it's not horror. Okay? That's all I'll say. I'm not gonna go into detail and describe what it is that happens in the last few chapters of it that, yeah. Yeah, it's sussy. Just watch the movie. Watch the old movies. The old movie. Tim Curry. The horror that is the reality of people, yuck. That is something that Stephen King, for as much of a creep as he is, has always done best with his horror. The like, scariest parts of his stories are never whatever supernatural, like, force or entity is going on. It's the people in the situation or around it and their reactions being exactly what you don't want it to be. Whether it be people panicking in a survival situation in the mist, or just the people in the town of Derry in it just not giving a fuck about the disappearing kids, and the adults not in any way, shape, or form being a reliable, like, guardian group for the kids, making you as the reader who is, like, following the kids feel even more, like, alone and vulnerable with them, right? The ending of The Mist messed me up for a while. I loved the ending of The Mist. That ending, like, upsets people so much, but I love that ending. Like, it's a very good and tragic ending. Also, the movie is made by the same people, like, the entire project, pretty much, was the same people who made the first couple seasons of The Walking Dead. And so, there's a lot of actors in both. A lot of, like, the film style is the same. Carol is in it, for instance. Carol from The Walking Dead. So, yeah. Based Zan, The Mist is so good. It is good, yeah. The movie ending fucked me up. I can imagine it fucking up a lot of people. I watched it fairly young, and I feel like it helped me to develop my respect for, like, tragic endings and stories, you know? It's why I really enjoy Cyberpunk Edgerunner, spoilers, by the way, if you somehow still haven't seen it. I'm not going to say what happens, but it's why I enjoy the Cyberpunk Edgerunners ending. That's all I'll say. Very much so, Minimum Bolts, yeah. I've read everything. King and the Mist ending made me angry, but I respected it. Yeah. Xander, have you played the DLC yet? Of what? Edgerunners? I haven't played Cyberpunk. I've only seen Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Should I stream Cyberpunk, or is it more of an off-stream game? Like, I'd literally be going into it blind, dude. Besides whatever knowledge I got from Edgerunners. I'm playing the game and I'm all happy, killing people with the katana and like zooming around the city, and then I get into a car and that one song from Edge Runners starts playing when they're looking at the moon, and I just go. I just 1,000-yard stare for like 5 minutes straight until the song ends. I just don't say a word. I stream C. Do not abbreviate Cyberpunk. I'm sorry, just call it Cyberpunk. Just call it Cyberpunk. Just call it Cyberpunk. Just call it Cyberpunk, please. Please just call it Cyberpunk. I know it takes a lot to type, but fucking hell. I love that meme. I really love that meme where people on Twitter were tweeting out, I'm gonna pick up, and then the abbreviation for Cyberpunk, and then like a dozen people would reply, just say Cyberpunk! Just say Cyberpunk, don't abbreviate it, stop. You mean you don't want it to be called that? But why not? Ah, my wrist won't pop and it's annoying. I hate it, chat. Vela Bell, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Very kind of you, very base. Thank you so much. Said, stream a Sonic game. I am going to at 100k subs. Remember that. Once I hit 100k subs, which we are less than 10,000 subs away from. I am less than 100 subs away from being 9k subs away from that. I will stream my first ever Sonic game. I've never even so much as touched a Sonic game in my life. I've never held a controller and controlled Sonic in my life. I will still beat Destroy All Humans 2 before then, Summer Star. And tomorrow, we are going to restart. I'm going to be doing a gaming stream tomorrow. No politics, just gaming tomorrow. I'm going to start and play through roughly half of Dead Space 1 Remake, because I never got to finish it before and maybe played like a third of it before, and I've now like forgotten how good the like first part of this remake is. So I want to play through all of it. Gonna play the first half on stream tomorrow, all just a gaming stream. And then the day after, which is Halloween, I am going to do about, 2 or 3 segments and then go into Dead Space Remake, and as like the Halloween special, I am going to stream the remainder of Dead Space Remake, and once that finishes it up, I'll end. Then I'll take the following day... No, I'm going to work the following day as well. But it'll... No, I'm going to take the following day off. I'll be burned out. I know for a fact I'll be burned out. I'll take the following day off. And then back to normal schedule of like 2 normal streams on and off. And then the days off where I've got the energy for it, I will do gaming streams. Yes, Russian MILF in November. I don't even know if she's a MILF, though. She's just, like... She could literally be 21, you know? Like, the game could just say that. And it'd be like, fuck. I guess. She definitely has the energy of, like, an older woman, right? But, I don't know. But yes, we will be returning to Destroy All Humans 2. It'll be very fun. Yeah, she has the energy, Heavy Gretel. She does. Alright, let me update that dono goal so we can start our next segment, huh? You'll get there one day, Daughter of Water. Kitty the Atheist, just know I would never call you that if you weren't okay with it, alright? But I recommend you take it as a compliment. personally. But I do not like those that without consent refer to people as a MILF when they don't have reasonable belief to assume they'd be okay with it. It's not good. Nearly every Sonic game has improvement mods. That's not a very shining review of those Sonic games, though, to be fair, but I don't know. Alright, let me get this open. Alright. You all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. So, as you guys know, since the right's really large explosion of popularity on YouTube in the last couple years with the Red Pill crowd, we've seen a growing and rising acceptance of pedophilia within certain, sort of secluded online spheres of the internet. Now, contrary to what conservatives would tell you, claiming that this is gay people, it's actually the right themselves. You see, lolicon, for those of you guys who don't know, is pedophilia. It's, to really just put it out simply, it is animated child porn, is what it is. And there is an entire massive community of people online that have come together and formed a bit of a vanguard of, looking out for each other, a community that, looks out for their own, of unironic pedophiles who proudly tout themselves as lolicons and lolly porn consumers, or also Shota, being the male version. Now, they of course like to claim that because it's not real and it's just drawn, that doesn't make them pedophiles, or at least they don't claim it doesn't make them pedophiles, they claim it means they're not hurting anybody. Some of them won't even argue against your claim that they're a pedophile. Now, because of, there being so much hyper-focus on LGBT people as being these supposed, wolves in sheep's clothing looking to hurt children, an entire massive explosion of lolicon right-wing pedos have gotten quite large and quite influential online as of late. Now, I've actually covered one of them not too long ago, who unironically did quite well on Twitter despite being the person you are about to see in this video. Lolicon threatens lady, or I guess I'll just type cosplayer with sign. Who remembers when I covered this? Oh, the account finally got suspended. Never mind, Elon's Twitter actually did a good thing. Let me see if I can find the video itself, though, in the form of a mirror. His name was Ministry of Otaku, the account itself. Oh, yep, we got a mirror. We got ourselves a mirror on Reddit. Thank God for Reddit. As much as listen, say what you want about Reddit, but we got a mirror. This was probably the most memorable example of a lolicon that I've that I've covered. This is the type of people they are when you encounter them in public. The Lolicon's the one who's recording, by the way. The pedophile is the one who's recording the video. And he's going to harass this woman here holding the spaced sign. Now, on top of that, the video was posted by the person who recorded it and had a substantial amount of support on Twitter. This post got tens of thousands of likes, and following its posting, the account received tens of thousands of followers. How many of them were people that thought the account was posting the video to make fun of the person and followed not knowing what they were getting themselves into? I don't know, but I have a feeling probably not that many of the influx of supporters this Ministry of Otaku person got. She's dressed as Tifa? Yes, she is. I wish Tifa was an FF14. That'd be cool. That's the only Final Fantasy game I play.
Boo! Seriously? You in for a fight? Oh, you serious? You looking for a fight with that sign? Fetishizing lollies? Pedophilia? You really looking for a fight? Seriously? Seriously? Looking for a fight?
God, that's such a good video. That's such a good video. Choose Goose ass voice. Fucking real. Burst sounded like Choose Goose. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. That guy is not exactly the perfect example of these degenerate people in their community online. Because they've actually started to grow... Well, if you care at all about kids not being fetishized on the internet by large public figures, they've started to grow terrifyingly large. For example, a content creator who I've covered numerous times on the channel before, who has actually responded to me and sent harassment waves my way plenty of times before, so I have no doubt it'll happen again. Rev says Desu. This guy, as you can probably tell from literally any amount of time scrolling through his YouTube videos and knowing that this is his VTuber avatar, is a lolicon. He's quite open about it. He is quite defensive of lolicon, like lolly consumption, lolly porn consumption, and he fetishizes underage anime characters quite frequently on his channel. He has 626,000 subscribers. He is extremely huge in the VTuber community. And funnily enough, through this guy, I found out that a fair amount of VTubers in that sphere that are like the women with like the cutesy, like chibi girl, like anime, like VTuber avatars, a lot of them are themselves like Nazi grifters pandering to an audience of pedophile Nazis. I believe Pippa Pipkin is a good example of this. Someone who, like last time I covered Rev Says Desu, Rev Says Desu is making like a bunch of like glazing defense videos for her, because she'd like made a bunch of like JQ posting jokes, and not only is this guy a lolicon, but also far right. Now, the reason why we're talking about him today is because for the first time, he's actually starting to get a fair amount of public scrutiny. Like, people are starting to wake up and realize, wait a minute, there is a YouTuber with 613,000 subscribers? Or sorry, is that right? Sorry. 626,000 subscribers who is an open pedophile? Excuse me? Hold on? And people are starting to take notice. You see, recently a horror game released. I actually don't know if it was recent or not. I don't know when it came out. I don't even know the name of the game, and I don't care. It's not really relevant at all in any way to what I want to talk about today. But it's apparently a horror game. Like, it seems to be text-based from, like, the screenshots I've seen of it on Twitter. And it is centered around, or at least one of the main plot points, or one of the things that occurs in the game, is an incestuous relationship between the main characters who are brother and sister. There's also apparently cannibalism and stuff in there. It's a horror game, so if it was meant to be played off for the sake of, like, shock, gross out, or some other, like, you know, meant to disgust the audience and not meant to arouse or, like, play into anyone's weird fetishes, then I suppose that's fine. But at the same time, like, I like, like, Game of Thrones has, like, Jaime and Cersei Lannister, and their relationship is portrayed, and I'd say a pretty responsible way, even with how bad the, you know, comparably bad the final seasons of Game of Thrones are, you know, to the beginning ones. So, like, I don't think the idea of portraying incest in media itself is entirely wrong. Don't kink shame me, Zan. Alright, I have a personal connection to this, guys, alright? I am not into, like, step-sister incest shit. It's a massive turnoff for me. So when I go to Pornhub and I search, like, MILF or whatever, and I see a hot-ass lady in the thumbnail, and I'm like, let's go. Let's fucking go. And I click the video. And then the first thing I hear is some fucking horribly acted out scene about how they're, like, related but not really, though. And it's like, exit out. God damn it. Fuck. Penis flaccid. The amount of incest porn that has flooded the MILF category on every porn site ever is absolutely shameful, okay? It is genuinely shameful and a little scary, to be honest. Obviously, it's not real. Obviously, I know that. But the fact that it's meant for people who are into it means that it's a big part of the fetish of the video, and they don't let you forget it. You can't, like, skip through the dialogue like in a video game and just get to the gameplay, because even in the gameplay, they're talking about it still. Yeah, so you incest fetishizers, you guys are on my shit list. What can I say? You're on my shit list. That in mind, though, this game is odd, to say the least, from what I've seen of it and from what I've heard of it. Maybe it's not as bad as people are making it out to be, and it's a bit of like a over-exaggeration or whatever. I don't find that very likely, but, you know, I don't really care. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant. Because Rev Says Desu has come out as a staunch defender of this game, and regardless of whether or not Rev Says Desu's defense of the game is a rare hit, a rare non-miss, or not, this has gotten a lot of people's attention on this weirdo in a way that I am very happy to see. So basically, the Sigma female ended up posting this screenshot after quote tweeting someone with a name I cannot repeat because it has the N-word in it, who said, "Imagine you say incest is bad and some," I can't say that word, "makes a YouTube video about it calling you a weirdo because of it." And the Sigma female quote tweeted it, saying, "Yeah, that was me." This is the Sigma female's tweet, quote tweeting the person below. And it is a screenshot of this lolicon YouTuber's video titled "Developers of, quote, problematic horror game mock outrage from Twitter freaks." He likes to call, like, lefties on Twitter Twitter freaks, or people who don't like lolicon Twitter freaks. Like, his go-to response to people who think that pedophilia, or that lolicon is pedophilia, is to call anyone who says that a pedophile. So it's literally all just deflection. He just, like, if you call out the fact that he likes to jack off to drawings of little girls, he'll say, you must be a pedophile. That's unironically what he'll do. And his fans will do it too, as they, like, brigade your channel. But, that aside, though, he made an awful, very cringe video, and people are talking about it. People are certainly talking about it. We can read some of the replies here. How do you find these people to get under their skin? I've seen you in more callouts and weird quotes than anyone lately. They censored incest, they censored the word, but doing it is fine? Well, yeah, because they want to get monetized. Of course it's fucking Rev Says Desu. Why the fuck am I in the video too? Is that actually in the game? I thought, yeah, I don't care about the comments about the game. Oh, here we've got a nice screenshot of an old tweet from Rev Says Desu when his profile picture was literally like, I'm sorry, can you get any more mask off, dude? Every single pedophile I've ever had to ban or block had a profile picture that was basically this. Like, fuck, he was going way more mask off back in 2020, it seems. 10 years ago, a fully clothed woman was enough to get you excited. Now you need a Futa lolly voring a non-consenting amputee magical girl while tickling her blood-related sister's feet to even get started. Guess that's just growing up. 728 likes. Now, I don't think it's any surprise to you guys that nobody who isn't a pedophile so, like, brazenly jokes about being a pedophile. Right? Like, normal people who are not, like, pedophiles do not want to be associated with that. Unless they do not joke about being that. In a way that's like, oh, am I being serious? Am I being ironic? Am I being serious? Am I being ironic? The normal people don't joke like that unless they are a pedo and think joking like that makes it seem as though they must be joking. Being so open like that makes people assume they must be joking. It's very disturbing. It's very weird. He's made a follow-up video coping about the response. We'll give it a short watch, but we're not even responding to this video. We're not even responding to this creeps video. We're not even like going to watch the whole thing. We're just going to watch a little segment of it so you guys can get in motion an idea of how fucking weird this guy's videos are. Yes, this is his lolly VTuber avatar. That is, yes. I believe it's actually I had a comment on one of my videos recently tell me this is a character from something that was ripped and recolored. Like, this character is like a recolored rip from like an anime, apparently. I don't know which one. I didn't, like... It's some obscure bullshit you would never remember the name of in a million years, but yeah. Apparently that's the case. Nico Yazawa from Love Live, if I recall correctly. Okay. Well, there you go. You guys can Google that and tell me if that's true. Yeah, it kind of looks like Nico Yazawa from Love Live School Idol Project. Jesus Christ, that is an insane name. Yeah, so now you know what I mean by you would never remember that name in a million fucking years, right? So yeah, like, most of these, like, VTuber weirdo right-wing grifter types literally ripped their VTuber avatars from somewhere else. Like, there's not an original thing about it. It's just, like, a recolor or, like, a very slight redesign. Something I found out recently was that, you guys know my old stalker, Flamenco? The crazy Nazi dude who ended up getting outed himself. He got outed as a lolicon as well. He's also friends with this guy, Flamenco, my old stalker. He's a big fan of this guy and a big, they're like mutuals on Twitter and they're buddies. So he got like excised by the rest of the YouTube community when he got outed as a pedo. And he's very big in this sphere. So I thought you guys would like that little bit of trivia. And not only that, but he does the same thing. His VTuber avatar, because he resorted to doing, like, VTuber content, his VTuber avatar is literally, like, one of the default avatars on, like, the list of moving avatars you can get on one of those websites, I guess. It's like, it's not an original one. He didn't, like, commission it or anything. It's not an original avatar that he uses. Little dog in the teacup. So that's funny. These people literally just, like, find free assets and like, do whatever. Apparently this character in lore is supposed to be 17, which obviously still underage, but also I don't care how old they're supposed to be in lore. When people are jacking off to pictures, all that matters is if you looked at the picture and said, how old do you think that, like, and thought, how old do I think that person is, and you think, looks like a kid, then the person who's jacking off to that shit's a pedo. That's how that works, yeah. Like, this is very clearly meant to be a kid.
Rep here. So once again, I'm tapping the glass because Twitter users are treating fictional characters better than real-life human beings. Now, how did this happen this time? Well, a lot of people...
So for those that don't know, this is their argument, right? Like, that actually the people who are against lolicons, like championing it and having a culture around it online, care more about fictional characters than little kids, like real little kids. And so that makes people who don't like lolicons the bad guys. I just realized how insanely oversized the glasses are on this avatar. That is actually, like, annoying. Like, it's actually annoying. Yeah, holy shit, that's actually... I feel like it's meant to play even more into the character looking like a child, too. Like, the glasses are too big to fit. It's not even cute. It's like, it takes you out of the, like, looking at the character because it doesn't even look like it's part of the avatar. It looks like something he added on top to avoid copyright infringement for stealing this character's design from an anime.
Are angry about the recent release of a horror game on Steam. That game is called The Coffin of Andy and Lele. Now, this is a horror game with themes such as murder, gore, cannibalism, satanic worship, and so on. However, Twitter users are largely not angry about those themes. However, they are very angry about an additional theme contained within this game, and that is an optional route at the end of the game where these two brother and sister characters end up together. And despite everything that Twitter is trying to say about that optional route, no, it is not glorifying that theme. It is showing it quite literally as the bad.
Okay, I have to know if this dude made a video shitting on Baldur's Gate for the druid sex scene. The entire, like, right wing online tried to start a culture war against Baldur's Gate of all games. It failed very quickly. It was a very big L for the right. Didn't get anywhere. Because of the druid sex scene in Baldur's Gate. Can we, like, if he's made a video criticizing the left in any way, shape, or form for defending that, which, by the way, my understanding of that scene, I haven't seen it, but the way I had it described to me by a podcast that I listened to was there's, like, 6 lines of dialogue, like 6 dialogue choices you have to go through, and you have to select the right one every time, and then you have to wait a while, and then you have to go through, like, several confirmation dialogue options, and then at that point, you get the option to transform. If you're a druid, you get the option, or if they are a druid, I think, they get the option to transform into a bear if you tell them to, and then if they do, it, like, as they're about to fuck, it, like, cuts away to, like, a tree where there's a squirrel who's got, like, an acorn, and he, like, looks and, like, drops it, and he's like, what the fuck? That's my understanding of the scene. Like, it's not even, like, graphic or anything, but the right, it's played for comedy, right? But the right, like, tried to say it was the left loves this Baldur's Gate game, and it's about bestiality. And it didn't get anywhere. It didn't get anywhere. As you can see, Baldur's Gate is currently pretty much unanimously seen as, like, the best game to come out in the last 15 years. Maybe more.
Bad ending. It is the ultimate display of this toxic relationship between these two characters. It is not a good thing. They're not portraying it as a good thing. It is there to make you uncomfortable and unsettled, just like other themes in horror. And for some reason, Twitter users are missing that point entirely and are fixating on this one optional route. Now, a few days ago when I made this video covering those related tweets...
I have a feeling that he's not emphasizing the incest for the sake of emphasizing how horrific it is. and how toxic or disgusting their relationship is. They're smiling and like embracing each other with cry about it going like in his thumbnail. That's his thumbnail. Like yeah, way to support your own argument there by saying, yes, it's disgusting and horrible. That's why the game's portraying it. Shows a thumbnail of him portraying it as like a thing that that he likes. Like the relationship itself is something that he likes. Yeah. He's a weirdo. This is far from the weirdest video he's done, by the way. Like, him actually just outright saying he does not like the incest in the game is more than you could ever ask for him in most of his videos. Usually, this dude is just outright mask off defending his or others' consumption of just either lolicon or Shotokan. I haven't heard his takes on like bestiality or incest before. Has he made a video on Baldur's Gate? I'm genuinely curious. I want to know if he did that like really contradictory flip-flop take. Chat. You have to tell me. All right, I'll search. I'll search myself. Yep, he did. Yes, he did. 2 months ago. The hypocrisy never stops. Oh my god, look at his thumbnail, too. Holy shit. Look at his thumbnail. It's the scene on the left from Baldur's Gate where the left calls this brave, but the left calls the literal child on the right being sexualized degen. Christ. Yeah. So yeah, YouTube's basically just platforming and allowing the quite significant growth of like an open pedophile channel, just like they did with AimOCE. I'm curious to see when YouTube's gonna get like actual consequences for this kind of thing. Like once people realize like, holy shit, there's an open pedophile YouTuber with 600,000 subscribers. Like how long is he gonna last? Like YouTube as a community has a tendency of exposing these things, making it public, and basically wiping those content creators off the face of the earth. I don't know. I'm excited to see Rev Says Desu in the same place EDP is. I think it'd be quite funny. How do you guys like that segment? I feel like it came out pretty good. Hell yeah. Hemorrhoid King, thank you for the tier 1 gifted sub to Eliza Lee. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the $5. Says Bing Bong. Hell yeah, Bing Bong. And then Pepper T21, thank you for the $5 donation. Very based, very pog. Says, lollies are a disgusting fetish. That's why I'm advertising my character and VTuber model with this link. What? It better not be... Oh, okay. This is one I respect. I respect this one. I respect this one, Pepper T21. This is, this one passes the Zan test. For sure. Yeah, that's not sus. That passes the Zan test. You're alright. You're alright. Okay. Let me have a sippy of water before we start the next segment. I know I'm not muted, Benefit the Potato. Nice try. You all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1. Action. Alright, so, Libs of TikTok recently posted a video clip on Twitter, or X, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, that has now gone viral and started this big right-wing discourse on the internet right now about whether or not Gen Z is too lazy and entitled. This is the tweet itself. Recent college grad has breakdown over working a job. We're doomed. This is a very common narrative the right likes to push, is that, like, Gen Z is super lazy and incompetent, and that, you know, like, if we're the only generations, the older, like, people are the only ones keeping things together. Gen Z doesn't know how to do anything, and they're so lazy. We're so doomed when we can't work anymore, and they're in charge. Which is actually just a reflection, and it is true, they are doomed. This is a reflection of the fact that Gen Z is more intolerant of the, like, status quo that Republicans have worked to keep in place for, like, 100 years now than any generation before them. And it's aggressively so. Like, aggressively so. Let's look at the video itself. But first I want to tell you guys, like, a little bit of background here. If you go back to the 90s and early 2000s, and I mean early 2000s, that generation of teens and young adults who were essentially shaping the culture of the time were notoriously apathetic, edgy, ironic, and just very much all about satirizing current events, current culture, and just kind of having a very doomer, nihilistic outlook on things. And with every, like, passing batch of young adults coming to, you know, coming into society, essentially, we have seen the same phenomena become more and more and more persistent in each, you know, passing generation of young adults. Like even in 2008, you could see the difference was quite more significant than the early 90s and the late 90s and the early 2000s, right? It's been quite consistent, and I think it's marked most notably by this young people, I don't give a fuck attitude. Not the I don't give a fuck about my life, my safety, or other people's well-beings, but the I don't give a fuck about what society says I have to do attitude. And that's not an attitude or like a rebellious phase or anything. That's just the natural state of people. That's just how people are before they get broken by society and whipped into just being complacent with the awful, relatively awful situation we're in compared to what we could have. Some people, that spirit is broken when they're still in school. Some, it's never broken. But for most, it's broken at some point in their early 20s, when they get their first job. This generation, though, this, you know, most recent batch of 20 to 25s, is quite different. Not in that they're, like, going in the opposite direction or anything. They're more unwilling to put up with the bullshit than any generation I've seen, like, it be talked about before. Yes, granted, there was, like, the burnout generation narrative that happened in the 90s and the early 2000s, but I don't think it was anywhere near to the degree that we're seeing with Gen Z. Putting aside the fact that Gen Z men and women are way more lonely and lacking in relationships and sexual partners, men more so than women, but obviously both sides are seeing quite the drop compared to even 10 years ago. And it's obvious there's something quite different with this particular generation of Zoomers, right? And the narrative the right has pushed is the idea that they're so pampered and so spoiled that they just can't survive in the real world. They can't survive in the real world and do what they gotta do to get by. The reality is that Gen Z, through the internet and YouTube and TikTok, unlike any other generation before, has glimpsed the reality of some people who are just like them, who worked their way to a career in a dream job of entertainment, at least how it looks from the outside in, as YouTubers, TikTokers, and content creators. I think that's a big part of it. I think the fact that Gen Z, my generation, grew up watching YouTubers and streamers and Viners, and that's like still their main source of entertainment even into adulthood, and they are now, despite having grown up watching people just like them just get on YouTube and start making videos and turn it into a career, they're expected to go to college, work their ass off and stay up all night studying, and then go to school, working a 9-to-5 job while maybe even in college, working 2 jobs just to get by. They, more than ever, this generation of working class people is able to recognize how overwhelmingly unfucking fair it is, and they cannot bear it. They simply cannot bear it. And that is why Gen Z is the most overwhelmingly progressive generation. It's also why Republicans want so badly to raise the minimum voting age up to 25 or 26, because they want to keep, they want to make it so I'm not old enough to vote. That is how desperate they are to try to rule out Gen Z from the voting demographic, to hold on to power just until 2025. Project 2025 is honestly probably their last chance. Like, that's their, like, final hoorah, is to just keep themselves going and try to get Trump in power by 2025, or like, for 2025, so they can cement a non-democratic total, like, seizing of the government, that they never have to worry about another election again, right? Anyway, this is the video that Libs of TikTok shared, you know, shitting on this young woman here. Let's hear what she has to say.
I know I'm probably just being so dramatic and annoying, but this is my first job, like my first 9-to-5 job after college, and I'm in person, and I'm commuting in the city, and it takes me fucking forever to get there. There's no way I'm gonna be able to afford living in the city right now, so that's off the table. Like, fucking duh! If I was able to walk to work, and it'd be fine, but I'm not. So it literally takes me, like, I leave here, like, I get on the train at 7:30, and I don't get home till, like, 6:15 earliest, and then, like, I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner, and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook my dinner either. Like, I don't have energy to work out. Like, that's out the window. Like, I'm so upset. Oh my god. Nothing to do with my job at all, but just, like, the 9-to-5 schedule in general is crazy. Being in the office.
Yeah. She, a good way to put it is how Kiwi TP put it. The girl still has hope, and she's upset because she's realizing how misplaced that hope is. Yeah, she went to college, and she thought that, like, that meant that, you know, she's going to have, like, a career that, you know, she can at least enjoy to some extent. But no, it is just a nonstop grind. It is going to sap away countless hours of your life you will never get back. And one day you will die. And you will wish that you had those hours to do things you wanted to do. But you can't, because wealthy, powerful people who will never have to work a day in their lives in order to ensure they have food in their belly the next night, have decided that you have to work, otherwise the system isn't fair. Pretty much. I used to have to take a bus to the oil refinery I worked at. It was an hour each way and a 12-hour day, so I was commuting to plus working for 14 hours. This doesn't include getting ready, Xanderhall. Companies will work you to the fucking bone. Yeah, I mean, corporations in this country... Okay, wealthy business owners in the dawn of this country's existence were doing chattel slavery, because having literal slaves that are unpaid laborers, that the only cost of making work is to buy and then provide housing and food enough for them to stay alive and work, is the most efficient way for these, like, money grubbing what's the meme, porkies, to make their like massive maximum amount of profit, right? Chattel, I don't know how you pronounce it. Chattel slavery, right? They did that in this country in the dawn of its like founding. That was how a lot of this country was built, was on slavery. Then we outlawed that. And they started doing the next closest thing to slavery they could do. And then we outlawed that. Child labor we outlawed. We enforced, we had to legally enforce work hours that are still insane, but not as insane as they are now. The only reason we have weekends is because that's legally enforced. If they removed all of these legal protections, if these legal protections were just gone, do you think these companies would voluntarily continue to just provide their workers a good environment? Now, you know what a lot of capitalists would say? Well, eventually they would, because people wouldn't work at places that don't provide them a good environment. They would work somewhere else. And for starters, we can actually look at a good example of this. Henry Ford did do a lot to revolutionize factory working. He made it safer. He made it more efficient. The thing is, though, not every single worker could work at a Ford factory. There's a lot of people who need to work factory jobs out there, who need to work any given job out there. And not every single one of them can work at the one or two places that have the good treatment of their workers. Which means eventually, by default, because there's so much of a necessary working population and people have to get a job to survive, then people are going to end up working at places that mistreat them because there's literally no other choice. And that's basically the position of a lot of Americans, is they work at jobs they hate, with bosses who hate them that they hate, because if they quit or get fired, then they can't afford to eat or have a roof over their head.
9 to 5, like, if it was remote, you get off at 5, and you're home, and everything's fine, but, like, I'm not home, it takes me long to get home, and, like, people that drive to the office, like, you don't get...
Also, this generation has had a taste of working from home. This generation has literally, like, came into the situation with, like, tons of employers doing work from home. Like, and that's how they entered their career. And now these companies are like, okay, never mind, back to the office. And these, this generation's like, we know we don't have to be at the office. That's not going to fly with us. And so we've had this, like, trend of corporate, like, magazines creating these trends, like quiet quitting and whatnot, to try to, like, demonize Gen Z for doing things that are considered, granted, somewhat socially faux pas, but are without a doubt the smartest thing you can do to ensure your own financial safety, such as, like, working 2 jobs or organizing, like, your next career while you're working your current one behind the scenes. That's what they call quiet quitting, by the way. Or no, that's not quiet quitting. That's something else they demonize. I forget what the euphemism is for it. Quiet quitting is when you just do what's in the job description and you don't go above and beyond like a proper worker. They call it quiet quitting.
Get off at 5, and I know it could be worse. I know I could be working longer, but, like, I literally get off, it's pitch black. Like, I don't have energy. How do you have friends? Like, how do you have time to, like, meet, like, a guy?
And the thing is, it's worse for this generation than any before it. Like, you may think, like, oh, I had it pretty bad when I was her age too, but chances are you probably weren't paying as high of rent. Transportation, food, everything was probably cheaper, unless it was literally 2008. Chances are, when you were this girl's age, it's literally now, equivalent to now, because it was like a year or so ago, based on my demographic, or long enough ago that, like, the market was so substantially different that while, yes, you were working to get by, it wasn't as bad. The financial situation is getting continuously worse for every passing generation. That's also a big, like, feeding factor into this. I graduated high school in 2005. Shit is way worse now. To give you an idea, before COVID, in Florida, I could have gotten, like, an 850 square foot, 1 bed, 1 bath apartment in Florida for $850 a month rent. My rent in California was over $1,500 a month after COVID, and in California. Not even in LA, just in California. It's not much less here. Can confirm what Zan said. I have lived in Florida since the 90s. Yeah. Yeah, you could easily get like a nice one bed, one bath apartment, $800, $900 a month. Easy. Easy. Just like you might even be able to get some utilities included depending on the apartment complex or the landlord as well. Like it was way easier than it is now. And Gen Z is like entering the adult world after being confined to a pandemic for the last few years. And now this is what they're met with. Like, they're very much at their breaking point. And I'm part of Gen Z. I'm not really part of the demographic that's like at their breaking point, but most Gen Zers are feeling what this girl is, and they're having the same reaction this girl is. This is prime terrain for radicalization to the left. To be honest, though, I have a feeling she's probably already pretty left-leaning.
I don't know, like, how do you have time for, like, dating? Like, I don't have time for anything, and I'm, like, so stressed out. And I'm also getting my period, so that's why I'm all emotional. But, like, am I so dramatic? It's fine.
Dude, I can't imagine, like, having your period and then having to go to work, dude. I am glad I'm not a woman. That would fucking suck. Anyway, the right, of course, predictably has, I've literally called out. Yeah, I mean, completely understandable. The right has basically responded to this video by denigrating her and calling her like a entitled, lazy Gen Zer and saying she needs to grow up and pull herself up by her bootstraps. But unfortunately for them, just alienating this demographic further is not going to do anything to help them in the coming elections. This is only just a demonstration. They're showcasing themselves of how on a very short timer right-wing politics is in this country if they don't find a way to fascistically stage a coup and take control of the government and ensure there's never another election ever again, you know? Like, the only way the Republicans are going to keep power by the looks of things is if there's never another election again, at least presidentially. Gen Z just is very progressive compared to previous generations. It's not even close. We should really be moving to 30-hour work weeks. You do not need to be in the office for 8 hours a day. Yeah. But they want to squeeze out every bit of productivity they can from you, just like they did when child labor was legal, when there were no rules about having weekends or safe work hours. They want to make the workplace as unsafe as they can get away with. And if they could, they would literally employ slaves. They would buy and employ unironic slaves if they could, because they did. You think these corporations become so woke they wouldn't do slavery if it was legal? They would. It would save them so much money, the amount of, like, backlash wouldn't matter to them. Yeah. Elon Musk would definitely just straight up do slavery. For sure, yeah. They still do now, just overseas? Yeah, of course. So what makes you think they wouldn't do it here? Slashy, thank you for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. So kind of you. Thank you. Says, why are conservative lib owners becoming worse at their craft and becoming more and more embarrassing? Libs of TikTok got outraged because a geometry teacher dressed up as a devil for Halloween. Yeah, but at this point, their audiences are so radicalized, that doesn't alienate anybody. The whole, like, falling for satanic panic stuff. The current, like, Republican House Speaker thinks that humans and the Earth are only 6,000 years old. Okay? Like, I don't know what to tell you. Nerodia, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $5. Very kind of you. Says, my thing didn't auto-renew. Sad face. Yeah, auto-renews are broken. I'm sorry, but of all things to be broken, it's something that makes it so I make more money. You guys can't be too mad about it, okay? To be fair, if you're going to be watching me frequently, then I mean, you'll end up in chat and you'll be able to resub manually. So it's not the biggest deal in the world if it's broken, but we'll get it fixed. Let me get the next segment ready. By the way, if you're watching right now and you're enjoying the stream, please consider leaving a like. It really does help out a lot, and it means a lot to me. Seriously. Consider dropping that like. A little thumbs up button really goes a long way. It forces YouTube to push my content to more people, including those that are already subbed to me, which don't necessarily get notified when I go live already. I know, it's dumb, but that's how YouTube does it, because fuck the creators, am I right? All right. One sec, chat. Jakey Fakey, thank you so much for the $5 donation. I really appreciate it. So kind of you. Says, yo, what's up, Zan? Your boy is still here lurking. Wanted to share with you some 23rd birthday capital. Don't stop streaming, King. I don't plan on it anytime soon. But thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. Happy 23rd birthday. Everyone say happy birthday. Thank you so much. Let me update the dono goal really fast. Nice, nice. Yeah, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Alright. It is time for another segment. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1. Action. So, unfortunately, it seems the conflict between Hamas and Israel has quite substantially escalated today. Israel put out a announcement today claiming that they are preparing for a long war, a long and hard war with Hamas. And following that announcement, we got a lot of different news tidbits, which I'm going to go over to catch us all up on what's been going on. The first of which is from 2 minutes ago, with just a fitting headline for how this entire thing is going and what the outcome of this entire thing is going to be. More children killed in Gaza than in global conflicts annually over past 4 years combined, Save the Children says. So, this is a pretty horrific and nightmarish war, if you can even call it a war. It's more of like a series of skirmishes being, like, squashed with massive civilian casualties by a much more, like, armed and powerful military force. But The number of children reported killed in Gaza during Israel's military campaign over the past 3 weeks has surpassed the annual number of children killed in armed conflict globally in each of the past 4 years, according to Save the Children. More than 3,000 children have been reported killed in Gaza since October 7th by the enclave's Hamas-controlled health authorities. Now, people have said, like, oh, you can't trust these sources, but, I mean, Hamas controls, like, pretty much every institution with resources in Gaza, so yeah, like the health institutions too, so they're kind of the only source. And there's also independent sources that have confirmed the massive amount of child death. Not to mention, oh my god, my neighbors are cooking like a turkey or something. Like, is this like a turkey? Oh my god, holy fuck. The master chef, whoever is cooking that, whatever I am smelling, is the master chef. Jesus. Oh my lord, what a nice smell to just have wafting into my room while I stream. That is pleasant. I think it might be my landlord downstairs. Hot damn. I think it's like a full-on turkey, well seasoned as well, and juicy by the smell of it. You know how you can like smell a juicy turkey as it's in the oven, and you can smell a dry one? This is a juicy one. I can smell the dark meat. Anyway, all that aside, my mouth is watering substantially right now. All that aside, reminder, by the way, Gaza has a massive population of minors. The majority, and a substantial majority at that, of the population of Gaza, of Palestinians, are kids. Which means when there are large civilian casualties, there are large child casualties. There are just too many children as part of the population for that not to be the case. It's quite concerning. When you think about it, the IDF is waging a war against a population of children. Quote, the numbers are harrowing, and with violence not only continuing but expanding in Gaza right now, many more children remain at grave risk, said Jason Lee, Save the Children's country director in the occupied Palestinian territory. A total of 2,985 children were killed across 24 countries in 2022, 2,515 were killed in 2021, and 2,674 in 2020, according to the United Nations Secretary General's Annual Report on Children and Armed Conflict, cited by Save the Children. In 2019, the UN reported 4,019 children were killed in conflicts around the world. Save the Children has added its voice to those calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Neither Hamas or the IDF will oblige. Unfortunately, more children will continue to die, and it will be a horrific tragedy that celebrities defending Israel and dipshit lefties defending Hamas will continue to destroy their credibility and reputation by defending their side, obviously. They have their own side, but the more they defend their side, the more they essentially excuse the war crimes committed by their side. And both sides are committing war crimes. So anyone who's taking either side in this is a war crime defender. It's just as simple as that. The only correct position is to be overall against the conflict and to be equally against Hamas and the IDF. I don't care how much more equipped the IDF is. Hamas is as bad. Like, Hamas is as bad as the IDF, morally, for the sake of this discussion, yes. This is from 30 minutes ago. Jordan, is it Jordan or Jordan? I actually don't know. Someone tell me. Jordan asks U.S. for Patriot air defense system amid fears of regional escalation. Oh, by the way, yeah, several other nations in the surrounding area, I believe Iran as well, are like getting real testy because of the conflict. So it's just Jordan. Okay. Yeah, it's concerning, but I don't think it's going to be World War III. I think the people who are like, oh, World War III is going to happen. No, I don't think so. I'll gladly swallow my words and my pride if I end up being wrong and World War III happens, because we'll all be dead. The request comes at a time of heightened tensions in the Middle East due to the war in Gaza, as well as clashes in the Lebanon-Israel border between Hezbollah and the Israeli forces. We asked the American side to strengthen our defense system with Patriot missiles. This system is expensive and cannot be employed with local capabilities, and we need a strategic partner. Jordan Army spokesman Brigadier General Mustafa? Hell yeah! Mustafa Al-Hiyari said on Al-Mamlaka TV. Al-Hiyari said Jordan is facing ongoing threats, including ballistic missiles from the north, east, and west, and the Patriot air defense system is the best weapon to confront such a threat. Jordan is also requesting a system to combat drones that are used on drug smuggling, as they, quote, have become a threat to all our fronts, Al-Hiyari added. So this is causing, like, stress in all the nations, like, surrounding Israel and Palestine and the, and Gaza and the, West Strip. Or West Bank. West Strip? West Bank? I think it's been referred to by both names. This is from 50 minutes ago. Israel strikes military infrastructure in Syria. Israeli forces struck military infrastructure in Syrian territory following launches towards Israel from the country, Israel's military said Monday. UN warns of growing hunger and desperation in Gaza. What to know as Israel's ground operation continues. That's right, by the way, guys. Ground operation has begun. The UN warns civil order is deteriorating in Gaza after weeks of siege and bombardment, with people breaking into warehouses to take survival essentials. More on the warehouse break-in. Okay. I'm sorry, but at this point, Gaza is effectively like a map in a survival shooter game like Tarkov. Like, if you are somebody who's there and you're looting to survive, I don't care. I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's bad at all. Like, break into warehouses to get survival gear. You're literally in, like, a fucking Tarkov map at this point. Yeah, no, absolutely. No shame. No shame. At least 10 injured as crowd storms Russian airport after flight arrives from Tel Aviv, officials say. Netanyahu deletes social media post accusing security chiefs of failing to warn about October 7th attack. Internal criminal court prosecutor says strikes on civilian infrastructure always have to be justified. Like, have to be justified or have been justified? Oh, it's them trying to talk down what they've done. Anybody who targets civilian infrastructure in Gaza, in the Gaza-Israel conflict, will need to justify every strike. Neither side has justified their strikes with anything other than there are no innocent bystanders. That has literally been both sides' position. Hamas's position is, there are no innocent bystanders. The IDF's position is, there are no innocent bystanders. It's simple as that. Yeah, Gaza is also apparently currently in the dark. Like, communication in and out of Gaza is mostly impossible. In some areas it still is, but for the most part it is not. Power and internet and phone services have been cut off. It is basically just a big, like, power and internetless prison camp right now, getting shelled and now ground assaulted nonstop by Israel. This is really depressing. I usually have, like, some pretty solid commentary to give, I feel like, but there's not much else to say on this other than, like, isn't it, like, emptying of your soul that there are people taking one or the other side in all of this? Like, you've got people, like, on the, What was his name? Second Thoughts podcast called? The one that got removed from Nebula because he said the thing I'm about to say that he said? What was the name of that podcast? The Deprogram podcast, I think it might have been. Yeah, the Deprogram. He got removed from Nebula along with that whole podcast because he went on to say that none of the civilians or anybody in Israel are bystanders because they're colonizers, and so their deaths are justified. He justified the killing of theoretically every Israeli. And was laughing about it, yes. So, really disgusting shit on the part of that guy. And then, of course, you've got the, like, hardcore Zionists who are cheering from the sidelines as the IDF just, like, decimates blocks of like, schools and hospitals and apartment complexes and other civilian infrastructure filled with kids. Oh, and the best part is, you've got the celebrities who are pro-Israel on the side with, like, oh my god. Justin Bieber had possibly the best Instagram post of all time in regards to, like, celebrities coming out to support Israel. Look at this. Justin Bieber's Instagram. This is like his story. It's an image of a city destroyed. You know, like a lot of it's destroyed. A whole block of it seems to be destroyed. And it's captioned praying for Israel. You might think this is an image of Israel. This is an image of Gaza. Justin Bieber tweeted out an image of an entire block of Gaza lying in ruins, captioned praying for Israel. The average normie, like, wannabe progressive on this issue, is immediately going to assume Israel is in the right because there's been such a successful effort to tie Zionism with Judaism and anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. Basically, like, a lot of people who are not pro-Israel are gonna get Corbyned. They're gonna get Corbyned. There has been a very successful effort to tie Zionism and being Jewish together as inseparable. Criticizing one means you're criticizing the other, and if you're criticizing being Jewish, obviously you're anti-Semitic, so you can't criticize Israel. That's basically how they do it. It's very insidious when we've got thousands of children dying and they are still willing to stand there with a smug smile on their face as they deny all of it and try to justify it through euphemism and propaganda talking points. It really boils my blood. I think that's about as much as I could say on the topic without getting emotional. What do you guys think of that segment? For as much of a downer as the subject matter was, I still think it was good. Good segment. Nice. Glad you guys think so.
What's up, everyone?
Alright, guys. You all know what to do when I say action, right? Gotta stretch. 3, 2, 1. Action. Alright, everybody. It is time that I finally covered one of these right-wing media grift content creators that has been highly recommended and highly requested for quite some time now, and that is Endymiontv. I assume I pronounced it right? I don't care if I pronounced it wrong, to be honest, so don't correct me if I did. This guy, I originally discovered him when Asmongold, who has recently taken a pretty heavy turn to the right with his content, that's not gaming related, which is pretty much most of it now isn't gaming related. Like, it's either like videos of him hating on anything in any given game, or like him reacting to some like anti-woke video. And he gave a recent massive shout out to this channel, Endymiontv, and he's blown up a lot recently due to several reaction videos Asmongold did to his content about how like wokeness is ruining games and stuff. And he recently put out a video that caught some people's eyes enough that they have sent it to me and asked that I cover it. And this is the thumbnail. It's Venom, and there's a progress flag in the background, and then it says gay. I genuinely thought at first when I saw this thumbnail it was going to be about the 19 inches of Venom tweet. If you know, you know. God, it's so funny. Anyway, the video title is as follows: Marvel's Spider-Man 2 Woke Culture War Goes Nuclear, plus Latinx Backlash and Insomniac Exposed. This video has 230,000 views. And the top comment is, I miss when being a nerd meant people left us alone. Now our stories and hobbies are polluted with brain-dead, tone-deaf, mentally ill politics. That's the top comment, so yeah, I think that kind of helps to get you into the mindset of the average viewer of this type of video, because it is a very special type of person who's so, like, miserable and pathetic that their entire personality is based on video games, and politics that they disagree with being anywhere near video games that they base their personality on is like an actual personal, like, offense to them that upsets them. It's so hard to be a gamer now. It's so hard to be a nerd these days. Jesus Christ, have some self-awareness. Anyway, let's get into this video. I have no doubt it is going to... God, I swear, they switched around these two buttons. They really must have. Anyway, prepare to cringe.
What's up everyone, it's Endymiontv, and if you own a PlayStation 5, you're probably playing Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which I have completed myself and snagged my 147th Platinum trophy thanks to it. Overall, I thought the game was good, but its story, in my opinion, lacked the emotional beats of the original. I felt many villains in Spider-Man 2 were not explored enough, or they were wasted for story purposes. And I also think Spider-Man...
For the record, by the way, I never take any of these people's, critiques about things outside of the things they accuse of just being, like, woke drivel or whatever seriously, because oftentimes these people need an excuse to hate the game outside of the political stuff. Maybe this critique is valid, but if you're interested in getting the game, check out a non-conservative review, or like play it yourself, watch some gameplay, and make your own decision. Please, for the love of God, don't watch YouTubers and let them make your decision about media, like your opinion on media, before you ever consume it. Like, it's so common now that people just go to YouTubers, get their opinion on pieces of media without ever consuming it, and they let the YouTuber decide what their opinion is on it.
Spider-Man 2 doesn't fix the prevailing problem that many AAA open-world games have, which is side content that oftentimes feels tedious or dubious at best. Like how in one mission, Miles can help a blind old lady and eventually gift her a robotic dog as a pet. Sure, it sounds cute, but dude, if that dog bugs out even once, that lady will be turned into human sushi, but whatever, it's content, I guess. And the lady is blind, so there's some inclusiveness for you too. And speaking about
blind people are woke? Okay. This is the most bizarre nitpick I've ever seen. Like, if you do a side quest, you can get this lady a robot dog, and then, like, I guess you can visit them again, and, like, kids have written on the robot, and it's, like, got, like, art on it, and it's, yeah, no, this is fine. What? In his world, blind people don't exist.
About inclusiveness, that's kind of what this video is.
Also, holy shit, this game's graphics are pretty good. I'll have to pick this up when it comes out on PC.
Is all about. How Insomniac has filled Spider-Man 2 to the brim with pandering, to the point that it feels like it overshadows other key features. Don't worry, no spoilers for the story or anything, but all I'll say is that the game makes it very clear that Insomniac has plans to eventually phase Peter Parker out of the role of Spider-Man and instead make Miles the main character. And I, for one, am not cool with that because Peter is Spider-Man, always and forever in my mind. Miles, like I've explained.
Oh, he's one of those chuds that's freaking out about, like, who doesn't think Miles is Spider-Man. He's one of those guys. Yellow Flash 02, I think his name is, recently got massively ratioed on Twitter after dying on the hill of Miles Morales is not Spider-Man. Dude, do not fuck with Spider-Man fans and do not fuck with Miles Morales fans. They will come after you. You are not winning the culture war on this issue, my friend.
Before is Miles, and he needs his own identity instead of co-opting another. But I'll talk about Miles more later on. But for now, this
what
brings
identity
us
is he co-opting? What?
Titled,
okay, I've only seen Spider-Verse. I don't know if Miles in this game is different than in Spider-Verse. But the Miles that I know from Spider-Verse is not co-opting anybody's personality that I recognize. The only... Does he mean the moniker of Spider-Man? Does he mean that? He means that. He means that. That's what he means. He means that, like, if Miles Morales is going to be a real hero, he needs to become not Spider-Man, but a new hero. He's got to be his own thing, because Peter Parker's the only Spider-Man. Like, how are these people who claim to be, like, comic book nerds so averse to the idea of multiple different people holding the same hero title and being the same hero? Like, Yellow Flash 02... a guy who named himself after The Flash has a problem with multiple people, supposedly, has a problem with multiple people having the name Spider-Man. In reality, the problem is that one of those people is black. That's the problem they have. And they don't want to admit that, because that's too on the nose. It's too obvious. They can't just outright say, it is bad that Spider-Man is black. They have to warp and run around beat around the bush until they find some roundabout way of arguing it's bad that makes them somehow sound not extremely racist.
Queerness is everywhere in Spider-Man 2. The author of this article, Jade King, praises Insomniac for filling the game to the brim with identity politics. She uses Black Cat as a core example, stating that Insomniac confirms Black Cat is bisexual in the game, since she openly states she now has a girlfriend. Jade King is very happy about this. But if they read a Spider-Man comic before, they know this is nothing new and Black Cat has been bi for years now. But of course they didn't...
Okay. Wait, they're a game reviewer? They didn't... The job of game reviewer doesn't need to necessitate you've read a certain amount of comic books? I don't know what that has to do with it.
Didn't read a comic. This is a modern games journalist we're talking about.
Also, identity politics isn't when minorities exist in media, dude. Identity politics is when you base literally all of your political messaging and all of your political arguments off of the idea that somebody has more say on an issue because of their identity. That, like, so for example, an identity politics-based argument would be white people can't argue against a black racist because even a black racist is more equipped to talk about black issues than even the most progressive white person, right? That would be an id poll argument that you hear from a lot of woke scolds, unironically, on the left and on Twitter. So that's identity politics, not just minorities existing. It's like they hate identity politics. They say they hate identity politics, and then what they call identity politics is minorities existing in media, but they say they don't hate minorities existing in media. Interesting.
It's only about window dressing for them, where things need to be plainly stated and pointed out to them like toddlers in order for them to recognize things. Jade even uses Black Cat's bisexual...
I'm sorry. Are you a conservative who is currently trying to claim that the left lacks media analysis ability? Is that what's happening right now? You, a conservative, are claiming the left lacks the ability to do media analysis. Phenomenal.
identity as a gotcha towards the male gaze when they say, Black Cat's bisexual identity fits brilliantly with her character as a seductive burglar willing to pull vulnerable men into her grasp before taking advantage of them, only to subvert their pursuits in favor of loving
That's
another
cringe
woman.
as fuck.
Wow, so progressive, just so amazing.
Okay, yes, that article is cringe as fuck. Is the world over now? You found an article with a line in it that's cringe as fuck and makes bisexual women sound like monsters. And it honestly makes the person who wrote it sound pretty bigoted. Does that mean that, like, the left is bad? And that, like, progressive messaging or even just minorities existing in this media is bad?
Don't you love it when these journos think they've discovered a new element on the periodic table, while being completely oblivious that the thing they're convinced that they discovered has always been there all along and everyone but them has known about it already? Because that's what this black...
And my favorite thing about conservatives is how openly they hate journalism. It's why, like, they're so big in favor of Trump, is because Trump was going to expand libel laws to make it easier to sue journalists who cover negative things about you. He was basically going to heavily reduce the amount of, well, he couldn't because the First Amendment wouldn't allow it, but if the First Amendment didn't exist, what he was going to do is allow himself and, you know, anyone who's got the money and resources to sue any journalist who dares to, like, expose dirt about them. Ever. The right really hates journalists because journalists are, as Dylan Burns has said, I really like this quote, journalism is the first draft of history, and conservatives do everything in their power to destroy any teaching and spreading of historical knowledge because it doesn't make them look very good. And, of course, considering that journalism is a form of historical, you know, study in a way, it's just the present, they're just as against it.
Cat nonsense is. But it doesn't stop there, nor does the pandering. At one point in Spider-Man 2's many side quests, you even get to play as Miles' deaf girlfriend, who personally, for me anyway, the chemistry between these two feels incredibly forced and not at all natural. Haley is deaf, and she was introduced in Spider-Man Miles Morales.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. This game is woke as fuck, okay? Like, there is media that is absolutely, intentionally woke as fuck. Like, that is a thing, but it's not forced. Nothing about, like, this feels forced to me. Like, if you want an example of, like, forced woke, I used this example before, but the Endgame scene, the Avengers Endgame, like, girl power scene, where they all help Captain Marvel get the glove to the van, that scene is forced and cringe. None of this is forced or cringe. All of this is, like, realistic and plausible and works in the story, at least what I'm able to see. But what is clear is that that's pandering. You don't know that. You don't know that. Wait, why is it all of a sudden that people are, like, able to determine whether or not this game was made by people who are progressive and wanted to... Oh, that was pandering. Yeah, the girl power scene, yes. Like, but people will say, this representation is pandering. And... like, how do you know that? How do you know if this was an attempt to pander to a progressive audience, or if it was made by progressive devs who just wanted to be woke with their game? And in either case, what is their argument? What is their issue? Because back in the day, these people were arguing in response to journalists who were saying games need to be more woke, telling them to make their own games. And now there are woke games, and these guys are the ones losing their shit about games being woke. Dude, if you don't want the games to be woke, then make your own games. What can I tell you? It's as simple as that.
As a side character who likes to spray paint art on walls. Insomniac clearly loves her so much that they decided to not listen to fans when they told them that we don't want to play anyone but superpowered beings. So now...
I don't know... I don't know if the entire community agreed on that. I know that at some point in the first game you play as Mary Jane. So it's not even unusual to play as Spider-Man's girlfriend in one of these games. Like, they've done it before in the last game. It seems like they're keeping up with tradition.
Of course, you get an entire mission where you can now play as Haley. This is incredible. This is so inclusive to your viewer, because now you can...
I really hope he calls the game developers racist for having her spray paint walls and tag buildings or whatever. I really hope he calls that racist. It would be so fucking funny. Like one of those like right-wingers attempting to like say the left are the real racists like moments, and it's like a completely delusional like reach. Like the Chud Sphere did with Blue Beetle, saying it's racist that the Hispanic family in the movie goes out to get tacos.
Walk and take elevators and even slowly drag an analog stick over to paint stuff on walls. Because I don't know about you, but when I play a game called Spider-Man 2, if I'm not playing a normal human being doing normal boring people stuff, in a game where I can fight mutant lizards or shoot Bukake alien goo out of my body, the game is simply not complete for me. Thankfully...
Oh god, you know this guy's a fucking gooner. When like the first thing that comes to mind when he sees Venom is Bukake goo. Okay, anyway, stepping aside from that though, something I've noticed as a consistency among these people is that they want video games to succeed, they want gaming to do well, they champion video games as an art form, and they talk about how it needs to be taken seriously, and they bring up the fact that video games as a entertainment genre, or as an entertainment industry, make more money than movies, TV, and books combined. Like all other forms of entertainment media combined don't make as much money as video games do this day and age. Video games are the biggest entertainment industry. And because of that, people are taking it more seriously as a way of telling stories, as a way of reaching people emotionally, as a way of telling social commentary and having social impact. And that is going to entail politics. Politics are an inescapable reality of our world that you cannot get away from for any prolonged period of time, no matter who you are or where you are. And as video games start to get more advanced, the industry gets bigger, the audience gets bigger and more diverse. As much as they hate that the audience is getting more diverse, they want games to remain a straight white boys club. More and more non-straight white boys are playing video games than ever, and it's just going to keep going that way. They are no longer the sole demographic that's getting catered to by games. And games are actually starting to get taken seriously, which entails the things that they're actually against. So now they're melting down about it. But they still nonstop try to say, we want video games to be taken seriously as an art form. And yet they complain about a small segment in the game where you play as the main character's girlfriend in order to, like, impart story. Like, minor spoilers for FF14, by the way, but in that game, where you play as, it's an MMO, where you play as your customizable character, who in the lore is, like, the chosen one, in that game, you play as other characters at certain points, as side characters who are, like, your friends along the way. And they're way weaker, at least in my experience. They're way fucking weaker. Is that, like, bad that the game does that for the sake of telling story? That allows you to play as other characters in the story to, like, allow you to, like, I don't know. Like, it feels like such a reach of a complaint.
The Haley mission is just that. It's one single mission. But by God, could I not wait for
one
it to
single
end,
mission,
I don't
literally.
play Spider-Man to be a normal person. I play it so I can yeet myself at 200 miles per hour over city buildings while kicking mentally deranged criminals in their chest cavity, while calling them...
I guarantee you this guy has said at least 100 times in his channel he wants video games to be taken seriously as an art form, and yet he's saying, I play a Spider-Man game to kick people in the face. I want to swing on webs. How dare there be one quest, one mission where you don't play as Spider-Man swinging around kicking people in the face. No, only punchy, kick action, 24/7, 100% of the game. Like, I want video games to be taken seriously as an art form. This is like somebody in like early, like this is somebody who says they like movies, who gets mad when any movie is anything other than non-stop action scenes.
Them names, because that's what Spider-Man does. But alas, we must pander for gameplay, and customer satisfaction must be sacrificed in the name of the glorious message itself.
What? Why is this game selling so well then? Why are people not complaining about it? You like weirdos who make a living off of like grifting, complaining about any new popular thing, are the only ones complaining about it. This game is like getting like world record sales and is extremely highly rated and beloved. Like I don't, yeah. Like this is cope. You see, one of the things the right tries so hard to do is say that like there's this woke narrative that's so overwhelming and powerful, but at the same time, the silent minority that actually pays for the products doesn't like it, but it's also but also these companies are doing it for money, but the paying customers don't like it. It makes no sense. It's completely incoherent. These people's worldview makes no sense. If I skip to, like, towards the end, is he gonna say something that makes sense?
Girl and ginger lady. It's called Spider-Man 2, for God's sakes. And the whole Middle Eastern thing just kind of solidifies it further that when push comes to shove where it really matters, these companies, whether it's Sony, Microsoft, or others, will all fold like lawn chairs when it comes to representation. It's just how in Disney Star Wars they try to incorporate stuff like same-sex kisses in blink and you'll miss it sequences. But these are all done on purpose in order to farm ESG score, and conveniently have it play so if those scenes are removed, the product will still work when it's...
To farm ESG score? Is this some, like, internet-brained acronym to refer to, like, woke points or something? Or is it, like, rating scores on websites? I don't know. Yeah, obviously these companies that are making movies that they put billions of dollars into that are going to come out in countries that literally have gay marriage banned and that don't allow the presentation of gay people are going to do it in a way that can be edited. Yes, and you are literally one of the people who supports that kind of policy. Yeah, wait. Do you like support gay marriage? Are you against the fact that these companies are forced to do that for those movies to be allowed to air in those countries? Assuming you're pro-free speech, you would be. Because the only reason they do that is because otherwise they don't have the freedom to air the movie in countries like Russia, China, and North Korea. You could go on. Saudi Arabia. Like, yeah, it feels like it's such a nothing complaint. Like, you are literally a defender of the thing that caused the situation you're complaining about, much like most things conservatives complain about. Can we get something resembling a coherent argument?
People will save you all in the end, because white people, after all, are the ones mostly pushing dumb shit like latinx and pandering anyway. You guys don't need saving. Nobody is somehow better than others because of their skin tone. And these companies need to stop pandering like this because it's so...
I like this. The framing of any discussion around, like, any privilege you might be, like, afforded by your identity being framed as no one's better than anyone else because of their identity. He's framing it as if, though, talking about privilege is saying that people are better because of their identity. No, 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 no. Nice try with that classic 2016 Gamergate era talking point. No. Talking about privilege is not claiming that, say, white privilege is not claiming that white people are better than other races because they have privilege or they are better in some way. That is not what it is in any way, shape, or form, no matter what these people try to say. White privilege, for example, or any form of privilege that we refer to, refers to the social benefits imparted on people because of their identity. If you're white, you don't have to deal with getting uncomfortable when you see, like, a Klan rally burning a cross in someone's yard. Obviously, it's an extreme example, but there are other less extreme, more common examples of racism. You aren't affected by those things. Maybe you're affected by other negative things, that's fine, but you do have the privilege of not having to worry about those specific things. And that is what it is referred to, or that is what we are referring to when we say white privilege, straight privilege, gay privilege, cis privilege, whatever it may be. He really tried there. He really tried to do that little slimy maneuver of saying, like, privilege is when the left says privilege, they mean superiority somehow. It's a really, like, backhanded and slimy tactic, but they've been doing it since Gamergate. The whole, like, the left are the real racists. How do you guys like that segment? I feel like it came out pretty good. That video was god-awful. Poggy Woggy? Hell yeah. Alright, so I think I've only got one more segment left in me tonight. I'm pretty tired, to be honest. I stayed up pretty late last night. But tomorrow, after... I'm going to do one more segment, and then I'm going to wrap up stream, and then tomorrow is going to be a spooky gaming stream. I'm going to get all the lights in here to be orange and red to set the spooky tone. I'm going to get it like nice and dimmed down and dark, so it's like dark and spooky. And I'm going to play through at least the first half of Dead Space 1 Remake. And then we're going to finish the rest of it when I stream it on Halloween itself. So this Halloween spooktacular stream event is going to be sort of a 2-day event. I think it's a good way to put it, right? 2-day Halloween event, including Halloween itself. Nice. Alright, I've got to use the bathroom, and I've got to switch out my vape for one that's not empty, so I will be right back. Bear with me. I will be back for the final segment of the stream in just a moment. I have returned, everybody. Thank you for everyone who left a like while I was gone. All right. What will be my final segment? Oh, I know what you guys will like.
Text, right?
Keeps
Okay, so... Okay, Cherry forgot some of the important links. Cherry kind of forgot some of the important links related to this particular segment, but I think I can put this together myself. It's all good. All right. You all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. Oh boy, here we are again talking about Mr. Beast drama. When you're as big as he is, I guess it really doesn't matter what you do. If you like fart in the wrong direction, you're going to end up making big waves. So, this is the entire Mr. Beast and Rosanna Pansino drama explained. This article came out yesterday. This is like fresh off the presses, guys. Fresh Mr. Beast drama. Jimmy Mr. Beast recently came under fire by YouTuber Rosanna Pansino, the creator of Nerdy Nummies. Allegedly, she was edited out of the third creator clash by well-known entrepreneur and YouTuber, with Logan Paul being put in her place instead. Though the baking content creator stated she wasn't trying to be malicious, she felt the silence she was under was causing undue stress. Over the past few days, this drama-filled incident came to light. Rosanna Pansino opened up about the issues with Mr. Beast, and other content creators confirmed her story that she was supposed to be in third place at Creator Clash. Unfortunately, at this time, Mr. Beast has not made a statement on the situation other than in DMs to Rosanna Pansino, who leaked that to the public. Here's everything we know about the situation thus far. Rosanna Pansino took part in the first 2 Creator Clash events, according to her own posts on X.com. She was thrilled to be in the third one, Hide and Seek at Sophie Stadium. Apparently, she did quite well, and through a technicality, allegedly took third place. In the video, however, the final 3 were Larry, Logan Paul, and Zach King. In reality, according to Rosanna, Zach, Quackity, and herself were the final 3. The content creator would highlight that technically Larry was third place, but since he fell asleep, he was disqualified. Fell asleep? Quote, when Jimmy found me, he brought me to the field to be with the others that had also been found. I thought I had placed 4th. However, Larry had fallen asleep and hadn't moved in a long time, so he was disqualified. This meant I got 3rd place. Oh, it was a hide and seek thing, so he was hiding and he fell asleep while hiding. Quackity spoke about this last year, which was also shared on X.com by Rosanna. In the above clip, Quackity stated that he was supposed to be in the 2nd place, but he was edited out of the top spots as well. In addition, there has been other speculation about this video, further adding to the controversy. According to some, there are rumors that Zach King didn't follow the rules either, which would mean Quackity would be the 1st and Rosanna would have been 2nd. However, none of this is officially confirmed. So basically, all of this started off because there was a Mr. Beast event video where she, and along with other people, and he has a tendency to do this apparently, were edited out. And when you take the time to go out and be in a Mr. Beast video and, like, you know, do the things you have to do to produce the video, and then you don't even get to be in it, or your biggest moment gets edited out, that can feel pretty fucked up. That can feel like you had some thunder robbed from you that you were justly owed. I could see where the upsettedness would come from. Of all things, this isn't the most, like, awful scandal for Mr. Beast, especially when the edits were no doubt done by people that, like, weren't Mr. Beast. He probably doesn't have a big say in the final edit, like, results of his videos. He probably just has a big team of editors, to be honest. He's a big YouTuber. Like, obviously, he has a massive team of editors that just does it all for him. He's not editing these videos on his own. He's not, like, okaying or no-kaying certain edits and whatnot. Like, he's just... He's taking part... He's basically the face on the brand now. He has essentially been able to retire and become nothing but a brand name. He runs multiple businesses. He's extremely massive. However, here's the thing, though. A video ended up coming out. This is from the H3 podcast. This is Ethan Klein and Hila talking about this. I think they might have had Rosanna on for an interview. I may be wrong. I haven't seen this clip yet. Let's watch.
Text, right?
He keeps pressuring me to get
Yes, they did. All right, this is an interview that they did with Rosanna.
on the phone with them, and it's because he can say whatever he wants on the phone to me, lie to me, and then deny everything he said. It's a smart business tactic. He's a smart guy. He's a businessman.
Cynical, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I learned the hard way.
To be fair, and guys, I have said this since, like, the drama about people criticizing Mr. Beast for curing blind people thing. No YouTuber who's gotten as big as he isn't a little bit, you know, fucked up in some ways, somehow. And eventually it will be found out. Like, the amount of mental anguish you have to go through to succeed on YouTube is hard to deal with. I've learned to deal with it, but to just be able to deal with it the same way someone like Mr. Beast or the Paul brothers do, you've got to be a special type of, like, insane. I don't even know. You have to be kind of crazy.
I would say that you denying the phone call is a smart move.
Slick.
Because I feel like...
Also, I will, for a little bit of devil's advocate here, you can record a phone call. In fact, a phone call is even more verifiable, in my opinion, than a screenshot of a DM. Like, if someone shows me as like a leaked DM, there's still some belief in my, like, heart that might be fake. But if it's a phone call and it doesn't sound like AI, that like, a recording of a phone call sounds way more damning. It depends on the state, but phone calls are pretty damning. Yeah, well, they're in, like, North Carolina. I believe Mr. Beast is a resident of North Carolina, so unless she's Californian, I think it might be because California is a two-party consent state for recording phone calls, so yeah, I don't know, it depends. It could be muddy.
We've all had something like that happen to us, and so now we know. Once it happens to you, you know.
Can I give you a next level tip? Because this is what I did to BBTV.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Here's the best part, right? You can use that against them. I had this problem with BBTV where they had not paid me a ton of money they owed me. It's all resolved now, so I'm not trying to go after them. But because they were in Canada, and you got to check wherever he's calling from, there are tons of places that are one-party consent, which means you can record it. And so when I got on the phone with them, they're being, like, overly frank. They're being overly aggressive. They're being overly, you know, they're saying it all like, hey, you know, this is what it is. And so by recording that legally, then you get their asses even harder. But I don't. Jimmy's in where? Iowa or something? I mean, I think
it's North Carolina.
So he says, "What's your phone number? I'd love to call and see if we can figure out what happened." You responded.
Your message is so sweet. I like it.
He said, "You said, hey Jimmy, my intention of speaking up is not to be malicious or create drama. I was really hurt by the editing decision you made. Editing me out of the top 3 and making me look like I performed worse than I did. Felt awful. Quackity was also edited out of the top 3."
Okay, but let's not pretend like Mr. Beast edited that. That was one or more of his, like, team of editors. He no doubt, like, guys, I don't even see the final product of my videos editing from my editor until they go up on YouTube. okay? Mr. Beast is so much bigger than me, runs multiple channels and companies, okay? I don't think this was him maliciously doing anything himself. I think that the wrong here would be in the response. How we determine whether or not Mr. Beast is in the wrong here will be how he responds to this. Whether he tries to rectify it, if he takes responsibility and, like, owns up to, like, how it happened and that it was an issue and tries to, like, mend the situation. If he handles it like a good sport, then there's really no issue to take with him, because I don't think this was even his fault that it all happened in the first place. I think it's probably the editor's fault, if anything.
Oh wait, Quackity.
Wait, he talked about it?
Whoa.
Yes, he talked about this.
That's what I was also shocked by, because
I have a clip on my.
I don't know if I've ever seen
Twitter.
a creator with more engagement than Quackity. Like, he.
Just random Pokemon is in there for some reason. I guess that's cool. She's a big content creator. It's good to see her in there. It's good to see, like, her audience getting into that more lefty sphere that Ethan's been getting into. She's a massive content creator.
It's huge. It's just in like
Big
a
normie
more of, like, the
audience.
Spanish sector. So maybe Mr. Beast was like, oh, that doesn't overlap. I don't know.
That's crazy.
But I'm
wasn't
surprised I didn't
aware.
hear that. Yeah.
And then he didn't even
Yeah.
get top 3.
So I didn't know this. A fan actually sent me this.
Can you
But
send
I
that to
guess
Dan and we'll open it?
Yeah, send
Yeah.
us the link.
A year ago, Quackity talked about it, and I didn't know that he had talked about it. And I'm really happy someone sent me that, because it was at least somebody kind of
Corroborate, yeah.
Corroborating.
Corroborating.
Corroborate.
You're new to
Like, I guess this seems a little bit mundane. I guess to say it from her perspective, she's like a much smaller YouTuber than Mr. Beast, who gets the opportunity to be in a Mr. Beast video for a contest type event video, where, like, if you win this thing or you end up in, like, the top 2 or 3, like, enough that you are featured prominently in the video, that's going to be a lot of attention to your channel. That can make or break your career, right? And she got 3rd place, and they cut her out. That really has to hurt. That really has to hurt. And I do think she deserves some form of, like, recompense for that, especially when you consider the fact, I don't know how much traveling she had to do, but I know from experience that if there's, like, a YouTuber or YouTube event that I want to go to, I probably got to pay out of pocket to travel there. Hell, even if it's all paid for, all expenses paid for, you still got to travel there, take time off your normal content creation, and then go take part in it, right? And I do think that it's unfair that she didn't really get the payment and exposure that was sort of, like, expected and generally, like, decided upon as, like, what you get when you take part in a Mr. Beast video. Mr. Beast pays for all of that, even travel and housing, but the time investment is the thing to worry about in this case. Yeah, the time investment. Clout demon? No, I don't think it's clout. Listen, guys, I call people clout demons all the time, but being a clout demon or a clout chaser isn't just when you pursue connections or popularity on its own. Being a clout demon or a clout chaser is when your sole purpose is gaining notoriety and clout and success. When all of your relationships are exclusively for the sake of, like, backing up your own ability to gain success and popularity, right? Yeah, it's a whole different thing. You do malicious shit to gain notoriety, not just liking having notoriety. That's normal.
New to this kind of
You're
drama,
really new
you know.
to
I have
drama.
corrupt-
The legalities, yeah.
So it was just nice to have, like, I didn't even know that existed, so it was just nice to, like, in my story I was saying Quackity was 2nd, and that's what he's saying in the video, and he was so confused too. Like, what?
So, what place did he say Quackity got?
2nd.
Oh, you got
No,
it.
he didn't say that he got 2nd, but that's what he he technically
He
got.
says it in the video. He goes like,
You're getting mixed
Oh.
up. Who did Mr. Beast say? Like,
oh, who?
In the video, what place did he get?
Who are the top 3 in the video?
Oh, I don't know what he placed him in the video.
I think maybe it's in the message, no? The
Yeah, it's
first
in-
one?
Maybe 4th?
Wait, he got 4th? No, they have a little thing. You go to the end. It
I don't
shows
know
you.
where they put him.
It was a little confusing because when I watched it last night, near the end is where the Lorray disqualification happens, and they just kind of go straight from that into the final winner or whatever. So it's kind of ambiguous, I guess.
Dude, I'd be that's fucked up.
I have to say, I agree with Jacksepticeye's criticism of MrBeast videos, particularly current ones. I think his older content, like 2019 and prior, this wasn't as true, but this Jacksepticeye quote hits hard and is absolutely true. Jacksepticeye on MrBeast. They had drama over this and like worked it out behind the scenes, but I do actually, in large part, agree with Jacksepticeye's take here. Can I see if I can find the take? Oh, yeah,
now, Jack, a completely unrelated question.
Oh, I still have this video open? How? Wait, where? What?
Now, Jack, a complete...
Okay. All right. Here we go. I actually do agree with this take to some extent.
Unrelated question. Do you like Mr. Beast? No.
I enjoy his content.
Do you think Mr. Beast ruined YouTube? Yes. Now, in all honesty, Jack, why? Because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun. You just don't think you had fun playing Squid Games? You don't think you had fun riding on yachts? Building wells in Africa? I don't know. If he had fun doing those videos, they'd be longer. We'd see the fun. Ooh. I thought you were going to get me with that one, didn't you? Now, Jack,
and while there is a YouTuber criticism to make of that, there is a lot of validity to that. Like, you watch a MrBeast video, and it'll be something like cheapest hotel room versus most expensive hotel room in the world. And yes, they're doing like a dozen other hotel rooms in between. It's like a 15-minute video, right? Optimal YouTube video length. And so that's what's best for growing in the algorithm. MrBeast wouldn't be as big as he is and wouldn't be as successful as he is and able to do the crazy things he's able to do if he wasn't making that ROI that he does from, just having the videos be as optimized as possible. But it would be nice to see more. Like when MrBeast does a video where he's like doing some cool, insane thing with the money that he has access to that you'll never be able to do, and it's only like 2 minutes of that before he moves on to the next thing. Like we get to see him and his friends like running around and having fun for like 10 seconds, then it's edited to the next thing. It's like, I would like to watch a whole vlog of just them fucking around in this hotel room, right? Like that'd be a good channel. And yeah, that is the argument that Jacksepticeye's making. If it was about having fun, then they would be uploading like an hour-long segment of them just in that $1 million hotel or whatever. A whole video of just that $1 million hotel, and we'd get to like vicariously enjoy it through them. But instead, the videos are meant to be massive clickbaity, fast-paced, like, viral bait. And if they weren't that, then he wouldn't be able to keep making the same insane video concepts. Cow chops, I was thinking the creatures, but yeah, cow chop style MrBeast videos would be fucking sick if they had an alternate channel where it was the far less edited versions of what they were doing, and it was like, here's an edited vlog of the entire time we were at the most expensive hotel, here's the one we were at the most cheap hotel. That would be great. And it was just the fun, exciting parts of them doing funny shit. But it was like 20, 30 minutes of just that. And we could actually like stay on one of the things they've done and enjoy it. Not to mention, I bet he'd get more money out of the thing that he didn't spend a bunch of money on if he did that. No doubt he'd end up doing that in the future. I should like email him that idea. He'd probably do it because it's such a good idea.
Yeah. So...
Did you put in the video here, Dan? What's this new album?
I'm trying to send it. It's being weird.
So there was another video that was longer, but it's in Spanish. So a fan found this one. It was in English, which I just really appreciate because somebody did transcribe the Spanish one, but it's still a little bit trickier.
Yeah, MrBeast has channels in like several languages too. He's got translator teams that like dub over his videos in different languages audio and subtitles them as well. And like he's got translator teams that dub his videos. he's got a lot of people working for him. I have a feeling this editing snafu was not him specifically. It was someone below him, and by the looks of it, I think he does genuinely want to work it out. It doesn't seem like there was any malice here.
To follow, so I really appreciated someone finding something in English because he's bilingual, speaks both.
So let me read the text exchange and then I'll pull up the video. You said you continue.
I don't know if she's correct about that. I don't think Mr. Beast is bilingual. I think she might be mistaking the Spanish dub on one of his videos on his Spanish channel, because he pays people to dub his videos.
By saying it really hurt. I was really hurt by the editing decision you made. Editing me out of the top 3, making it look like I performed worse than I did, felt awful.
Oh,
Quackity was
Crackity's
also
bilingual.
edited out of the top 3. And he also talked about it. I've stayed silent for so long, it's
My
causing
bad.
me mental stress and anguish.
I misheard
Not
her.
mentally healthy for me to have someone make me look worse than I am to millions of people. I would never do that to a fellow creator. He said, obviously, I wasn't trying to make you look bad. Just give me a time we can chat. I'm not mad or anything. Just want to help. You responded, why did you lie? Why did you say in the video that you found Logan Paul literally 1 minute before Zach? I outlasted Logan and was proud of what I accomplished. It actually built some confidence in myself that wasn't there before.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I will admit, things look a bit fishy, a bit more fishy on Mr. Beast's side. Less so like he actively was trying to do anything malicious, but like now his primary goal is he's gone into damage control mode, and he's trying his best to try and like get her on the phone, smooth talk her over, and keep this from blowing up, because he's a businessman, a very successful and very smart businessman, and he probably recognizes that this could end up harming him in some way, and he just wants to get out in front of it.
Yeah, I see. He says, I don't know. It's been a while. Let's call and figure
That's
it out.
wild. That's wild. I don't know, been a while. And I mean, you were being so vulnerable by saying that. So I wish he affirmed your feelings a bit more.
You respond.
And your experience.
I'll give you some time to look into it and remember, and then we can discuss. I'm more than happy to review all the raw footage to help show the timeline of events. Feel free to send it over to my team. Let me know.
And then he just goes silent and hasn't written me back all day.
Yeah.
That was last night.
Okay. We
I
didn't get the video
imagine
link.
by now he's responded.
I know, I saw it somewhere. Where was it? I saw it in our document somewhere.
Oh, it's my newest tweet.
Tweet, so just pass me, yeah. I'll
Yeah,
pull it.
Mike said he's having a hard time at our hotel internet. I'm so sorry,
Your
guys.
internet's great, by the way.
Yeah, the call is working.
Yeah.
So that seems to be the end of the clip. Yeah, I mean, it seems a little fishy on Mr. Beast's part when you consider how, like, he's just kind of hand-waving her and saying, but getting a call, though. Like, he wants to be able to... it could be that he just wants to work it out because he's better at speaking and doesn't want to have to type. I'm like that, where, like, if someone's, like... If there's, like, a misunderstanding or an issue, I'm just like, okay, let's just hop in a call really quick. I'll be able to explain it and work everything out in, like, 2 seconds, 10 seconds if I can just talk instead of having to type. But, I don't know. He seems really dismissive of her in the messages that he does type out, so that kind of gives off a bad vibe. I don't know. You may ask why it's relevant, but I'd say, like, the personality of... and behavior of the largest content creator on the platform, who literally runs multiple companies at this point, a fast food restaurant chain, a fucking chocolate company. He runs like non-for-profits and charities. Like, this guy is the face of YouTube. If he makes himself look bad, it will reflect on all of us. It will reflect on YouTube as a platform. It will reflect on content creators, and it will reflect on people who watch content creators. So yeah, I'd honestly say it's pretty relevant to the sphere that I inhabit. At least as a content creator, it's relevant to me. Well, that is the end of the segment. What do you guys think of that? I feel like it came out pretty good. Have a good one, Arthur's Dirk. Good timing. Nice Seggy? Hell yeah. Nice. Well, everybody, I want to show you something. assuming I continue to get better from my long COVID, and I honestly do think I'm getting better. Like, I even feel better today than I did yesterday, right? I get people in my chat like Delancer who say like, long COVID's like herpes, it stays with you forever and it just comes back in like flare-ups. It's like, in many cases, I'm sure. I don't think in my case. What's long COVID? It's when you get COVID and it fucks up your body, and so you have like damage to your body that resembles the symptoms for a while, like after, like for up to 18 months after in most cases, it seems. I've been recovering and feeling well lately too, Xander Hall. Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to be a time and lifestyle thing. I think the more you try to fight through what COVID does to you, the more that the faster you'll get better. Like if you've gotten a lot of like the muscle pain and muscle aches like I do, stretching, no matter how much it hurts, if you know it's a stretch you're capable of doing and you're not actually hurting yourself, it's just like your muscles just ache and are sore from like, misuse, or not misuse, but lack of use, or like getting strained by coughing from COVID or COVID attacking it. Like you just got to fight through it and do the stretches and like don't count numbers. Don't do like 1, 2, 3, 4 when you do the stretches. Count breaths. That's what I do. When I'm like doing my stretches for my like middle and upper back here that got fucked up from COVID, I count breaths. I do deep breath in, deep breath out, and that's 1. And I do however many of that, and I count breaths. It's way better, I think. PP Girl, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $5 so much. Didn't say anything, but that is very kind. And base name, PP Girl 420. Let me update the dono go really fast. I was gonna say though, consider assuming I continue to get better, and I can do international travel. One of the places I really want to go is Japan. A lot of people say they want to go to Japan, and you think, oh, they want to go to Tokyo. They want to go to like the touristy places. Granted, the place I want to go is somewhat touristy, but it's less known than I think a lot of places. This, my friends, is where I want to go. This is a hot spring in Japan. You want to go there during the winter when it's snowing. And if you do, well, you'll see. You guys are gonna love what you're about to see.
Thank you. Check, please. Okay, nice. Thank you. ありがとうございます。Thank you.
Snow monkeys. And not only that, but there's a place nearby with a hot spring spa you can get into, and the monkeys come there as well, and you're allowed to bathe with the monkeys in the hot spring. You're not allowed to touch them here, because this is a national park where most of them are, but the businesses around where they like spread out, where there's other hot springs that are privately owned, they allow you to pet the monkeys. And this river and all the water is fed by hot springs, so it's nice and warm. Like hot, like hot tub hot, actually. Not even just warm. And that's the spring right there, that little plateau, the little platform. I want to go here so bad. You want to be careful not to stare them into the eyes. They see it as a challenge. It would be so hard to resist looking them in the eyes. Look at the baby! Oh my god. Look at the baby. Look at the baby. Look at the baby. Oh my god. It looks like it wants to ask you a question very politely. Imagine getting to be one of these monkeys and your whole life is like live in forest, trod through snow to get food, and then come back to hot spring and chill all day until you're hungry again. Oh, the babies are so cute. I love how funny they look when half of them is wet. Yeah, they squeak. We're just doing a whole monkey segment at the end of the stream. Would you guys watch a video if I went to the snow monkeys in Japan? If I went to the hot spring where you can swim with them? I think later in the video they go there. Yep, this is the hot spring where you can swim with them. Here it is. This is the place not too far away down the river where you can swim and get into the hot spring with the monkeys, and you're allowed to touch them, I believe. It may be illegal to touch them, but you're allowed to swim with them, which is like... That's the dream. They're used to people, as you can tell. They don't mind if you get in. That one's dipping out. He's got things to do. If you went to Japan and recorded anything I'd watch? Nice. Before I do any cool travel, I will definitely make sure I've got, like, an awesome fucking camera and, like, a big storage hard drive to put all the video on to keep it saved. Like a portable hard drive. Just looking like... I just want to give him a little head scratch. Cooling off on a rock. The water's really hot. So even with like your upper body in the cold, you still got to get out to cool off. Oh. It's recommended to bathe after 4 p.m. when the Snow Monkey Park closes. Oh, they're making monkey noises. What if they started making the monkey noises and I joined in? Do you think they'd attack me for it, or do you think they'd accept me as one of their own? If like they started going and I started going like I started doing like monkey noises with them. They might attack you, not gonna lie. Yeah, they might. Yeah, they might. They'll see it as a challenge. Yeah, the humans said a slur. Oh, God. All right, everybody. Here's where I'm going to wrap up stream. But before I do that, I'm going to try to get more of you into my FF14 free company. I'm going to show the game to you guys again. All right? If you haven't already, !FC in chat, just like that, and Zanbot posts the link to my Final Fantasy XIV free company. Remember, this game has a massive free trial. You don't have to put in any like payment info to get this free trial, all right? None at all. It's like a legit free trial, and it's the base game, A Realm Reborn, Heavensward, the expansion Heavensward, and the expansion Stormblood, all for free. It is hundreds of hours of content if you just push the MSQ and like the like your side questing stuff and your leveling. You can play and level every class in the game all on one character. This is included in the free trial. Besides the stuff you have to get like further in the game to unlock past the free trial, but you get like just a ridiculous amount of content for free. And so, consider joining my free company. Please. It's been a really fun time. We get into the VC and we watch like TV shows and YouTube videos while like grinding the game. And I oftentimes spend a lot of time in the VC. So it's a good way to play video games with me as well. Make sure, if you do join and you get on the game, or you already have, you send me a friend request in-game. Please send me a friend request so I can add you. I want to have all of you guys friended so your names appear as yellow in cities, because I love being able to like see one of you and then wave to you in-game, and you guys wave back, and then we go on with our day. It's such a nice vibe. It's such a vibe. And there is one big rule. Your last name has to be Striker. Now, I just yesterday finished the Stormblood expansion and made it to Shadowbringers. I haven't started it yet, is the key thing, though. I haven't even started the first quest. Shadowbringers is supposedly, like, it's the expansion where shit gets fucking real. It's the expansion that made FF14 as popular as it is today. Like, FF14 blew up and became the biggest MMO when Shadowbringers was the expansion, and Endwalker came out more recently and, like, supplanted it as the best one. But, apparently I am in for some, like, insane shit, because everybody that I know is like, make sure I am there when you start Shadowbringers. I do not want to miss any of you playing Shadowbringers. Like, people do not want to miss me playing it. Like, it is, like, they didn't want to miss me reacting to the trailer, which is why I'm going to show you guys the trailer here. Now, to be clear, this trailer is very spoilery. If you are either already playing it and you haven't gotten to this point yet, you haven't gotten to Shadowbringers, or if you haven't played the game yet and you're thinking about it. But chances are you'll forget about all the stuff in this and it won't matter to you because you haven't gotten far enough to get the context yet. Hell, most of the stuff in this trailer is so insanely out there, I don't even get it yet. Because there's clearly a time skip of some kind that happens between expansions. But this is your final spoiler warning. If you're not at Shadowbringers yet, dip out. This may be the expansion trailer that sells you on the game, though. Also, if you've played several Final Fantasy or any Final Fantasy games in the past and not 14, this may also sell you on it, because this game and this expansion picks up on a plot line that's been teased at and hinted by several plot lines or several other Final Fantasy games, apparently. This is my first Final Fantasy game, so I don't really know, but like the Crystal Tower Warrior of Darkness stuff is supposed to be like core Final Fantasy franchise lore. So interesting is really all I know about that. But here's the trailer for Shadowbringers. This is the expansion I am now moving on to. This trailer sold a lot of people on getting into FF14. This is gonna feel weird for you, PP girl, if all you know about Final Fantasy is Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is part of Final Fantasy, technically.
How many
it's like
years
in the franchise.
have come and gone since that day?
All Final Fantasy games are anthology, though. They're not connected, besides, like, certain things.
How many years have I waited for this moment?
This guy is your... Not this guy. The other guy is your player character. This guy.
Alone against the storm.
He represents us, the player.
For the one they called. The warrior of light.
I'm told the Endwalker trailer is better than this one too as well. That has me hyped. No spoilers for anything in chat, by the way. Dawn Trail trailer now. I watched the trailers for the first time as I get to the expansions.
What sayest thou, Master Matoya? We may accept this fate or defy it, but we cannot deny it.
Urianje has bards.
Deny? I am not wont to run from my troubles.
You just switch classes, yeah. I need to do this in the game. Not mid-fight, but between fights you can.
Until our friend returns, I will hold the line.
I'm very excited to find out what's going on with this storyline.
This town certainly has changed, and not at all for the better.
Oh yeah, this game's soundtrack is insanely good. This is far from being the best song this game has to offer.
I'm not going anywhere. I promise you, Minfilia.
I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. This is how they unveiled the dancer class and the bunny girls. The bunny class, the bunny race. Everyone just plays bunny girls, though. There's like 5 bunny guys in the entire game.
This tragedy,
Crystal Tower,
greater even than the 7th umbral calamity, must be undone. If history must be unwritten, let it be unwritten.
I'm pretty sure he used Living Dead there. Like, I'm pretty sure he died there and used Living Dead. I'll never play Dark Knight and Shadowbringers.
Become the warrior of darkness.
I am very excited. The Blast of Shadow is a Dark Knight skill called Shadowbringer. Oh, okay. Well, that's convenient. I'm excited. I have to learn how to tank so I can play Dark Knight. That's going to be a thing. Me learning how to tank. Whew, that's going to be something. There's going to be some unfortunate public lobbies of dungeon runs. People are going to get real unlucky with their queue with me. Whew. I feel bad for the future sorry fucks who end up queuing at the same time as me for a dungeon on my first few runs as a tank. Ooh, it's going to be... Ooh, they're going to... They're going to be queuing in thinking they're going to have a quick dungeon run. They're going to get their XP and their tomestones, and they're going to be out of there. No. No. No, 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 no. So how different is Dark Knight from a Death Knight? It's essentially like FF14's equivalent, but in gameplay style, very different. I don't even think Death Knights can tank in WoW. I may be wrong. I play like DPS Blood Knight or Death Knight whenever I did play Death Knight, so I never even looked into it to see if there was a tank spec. I'm sure there is. It seems like the kind of class that'd be able to tank. Tank isn't so hard. They are the focus of the healer. Okay. I sent a message with my sub. It didn't work. Could I send it here? Yeah, of course. Yeah, that goes without saying. Hurry up, though. I want to wrap up. It's time to wrap things up. I want to order my food. Oh my god, I feel bad now. Hey Zan, my dog died on the 19th, and your streams have really helped. I thought you'd like this guy's channel. Aww. I'm so sorry. Poor little baby. Poor little baby. I'm so sorry, pee-pee girl. I'm sure you gave your dog a really, really good life. I'm really, really sorry to hear that. That makes me really sad. But apparently you said I'd like this channel. I'll check it out for you.
But you ain't allowed to cut the buffet line, or I'll just start blasting. Can't leave no witnesses either.
You gotta be careful with that camera, man. I mean, like, it doesn't matter how close you are. One hand shooting a pistol, it's not the most reliable aiming you can do. There's always a chance. There's always a chance. I'm a pretty good shot. And one time I shot the clip off of one of my targets at the range because I was shooting one-handed. I was practicing it, and I'm a solid shot one-handed. And it was just my one badly whiffed shot I had that day, and it hit the clip, and I had to pay a $2 fee. It happens. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the second video now.
Some people really hate the term gun violence because they
fingers
claim
on the trigger.
it was a term invented by the left for gun control. Well, it's time to control your guns. Prevent unauthorized access to your firearms because it helps prevent access, theft, and misuse.
I like this guy. He's funny. He is pretty funny. It's a good vibe. It's a good vibe. I like the vibe. And yes, you should properly store your guns. Yes. Very true. You do not want it to get stolen. And you don't want a child to get into it, God forbid. Thank you for that, PP girl, and I'm really sorry to hear about what happened with your dog. I hope you're able to feel better soon. It does get better. I had a dog pass away not too long ago, just a few months ago, so I know how you feel. All my childhood dogs have died over the years, so it's been sad because I got them. They basically all came into my life quite young when I was like less than 10 years old, and now I'm in my mid-20s, and for the last few years they've all kind of in a very short span of time passed away, and it's been rough, but you get past it. It gets better, I promise. So hang in there, PP Girl 420. Alright, everybody. With all that said, here's where I must wrap things up. I need to order myself some dinner before it gets too late. But I love you all so much. Thank you for coming today. And don't forget to be at tomorrow's gaming stream. We're doing a nice spooky gaming stream tomorrow. Playing Dead Space Remake. So make sure you're there. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be spooky. We're going to get into the spooky Halloween vibe with some Dead Space. And then, of course, I'll be streaming more of it after segments on Halloween, the day after. So I hope to see you all there. With all that said, thank you all so much for watching, and have a good one. Doo-doo fart.